Hello my fellow peeps, and welcome to the second season of my Salute House show. Yeah, it sure has been a long time since I last time done a Salute House episode. So yeah, it's finally back for the second season. So we're gonna rip into this motherfucker to salute on shit that I like. So, without any further ado, on with the show. Tupac Amaru Shakur, better known by his stage name Tupac and later by his alias Machiavelli, was an American rapper, songwriter, and actor. He is widely considered one of the most influential rappers of all time. Much of Tupac's work has been noted for addressing contemporary social issues that plagued inner cities, and he is considered a symbol of activism against inequality, inequality. Or whatever the fuck you mean. So anyways, let's get into it. Tupac was born in Manhattan, New York City, but relocated to Baltimore, Maryland in 1984, and then the San Francisco Bay Area in 1988. He moved to Los Angeles in 1993 to further pursue his music career. By the time he released his debut album, Tupacalypse Now, in 1991, he had become a central figure in the West Coast hip-hop, introducing social issues to the genre at the time when gangster rap was dominant in the mainstream. Tupac achieved further critical and commercial success with his follow-up albums, Strictly for My N-Bombs and Me Against the World. Whoa, holy shit. I gotta say, Tupac is really one of the best rappers in this day. Even though I don't listen to rap music that much as I'm meant to. Yeah, years after I've played GTA San Andreas. So yeah, GTA San Andreas was the first one that I've ever played that has something to do with Tupac, which is when I first hear the track called "I Don't Give a Fuck." Yeah, from the Tupacalypse Now. So, anyways, Tupac was born on June 16th, 1971 in the East Harlem section of Manhattan. Yeah, standing in the middle of the streets of Harlem wearing a sign that says, "I hate." You know, what the fuck? While born Lezani Parish Crooks, he was renamed at age 1 after Tupac Amaru II, who was executed in Peru in 1781 after his failed revolt against Spanish rule. Tupac's mother explained, "I wanted him to have the name of revolutionary and indigenous people in the world. I wanted to know what he was part of a world culture and not just from a neighborhood." So, Tupac had an older stepbrother, Mopreme Komani Shakur, and half-sister Sequoia, 2 years his junior. His parents, Afeni Shakur, born Alice Faye Williams in North Carolina, and his birth father, Billy Garland, had been active Black Panther Party members in New York in the late 1960s and early 1970s. So anyways, yeah, the rap world Stretch and Live Squad. In 1988, Randy Stretch Walker, along with his brother dubbed Majesty, and a friend, debuted in extended play as a rap group and production team Live Squad in the Queensboro of New York City. Tupac's early days with Digital Underground made his acquaintance with Stretch, who featured on a track of the Digital Underground's 1991 albums, Sons of the P. Becoming fast friends, Tupac and Stretch recorded and performed together often. Stretch, as well as Live Squad, contribute tracks on Shakur's first 2 albums. First, November 1991, then February 1993, and Shakur's side group Thug Live's Only album of September 1994. Okay. And Biggie and Junior Mafia. Yeah, I'm just reading one article on each segment or some shit. During 1993 and 94, the Biggie Smalls guest verses on several singles, often R&B, like Mary J. Blige's What's the 411 remix. Yeah, at least it's not 311. Set high expectations for his debut album. The perfectionism of Puffy still forming his bad boy label, extending his recording to 18 months. In 1993, Los Angeles, Biggie Smalls asked a local drug dealer for an introduction to Tupac, who then welcomed Biggie and Biggie's friends to Tupac's house and treated them to recreational activities. On later visits to Los Angeles, Biggie would stay at Tupac's place, and when in New York, Tupac would go to Brooklyn and hang out with Biggie Smalls and his circle. Tupac is one of the best-selling music artists of all time, having sold over 75 million records worldwide. In 2002, he was inducted to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. In 2017, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. Rolling Stone named Tupac in its list of the Line 100 Greatest Artists of All Time. Outside music, Tupac also found considerable success as an actor, with his starring roles as Bishop in Juice, Lucky in Poetic Justice, where he started alongside Janet Jackson, Ezekiel in Gridlock, and Jake in Gang Related, all of which garnered praise from critics. Oh hell yeah, I sure like to see movies that starring Tupac. Yeah, hey, what do I gotta say? Yeah, he's done a good acting, he made good music, and also he has a good culture of gangster rap. Yeah, old school West Coast hip-hop motherfucking good old kick-ass rap music I've ever listened to, and I might as well listen to them a little more often if necessary. I gotta say that yeah, Tupac is like the rap god, the personal rap god, until Eminem made the rap god track that has something to do with well, but unfortunately it didn't live long, because back in 1996 Tupac was celebrating his business partner Tracy Danielle Robinson's birthday in Las Vegas. So around 11 in the evening, Tupac was repeatedly shot. He was struck 4 times, once in the arm, once in the thigh, and twice in the chest, with one bullet entering his right lung. Oh, this is fucked up. This is just heartbreaking. I cannot believe this just happened to one of the best rappers I've ever heard. The next day, he was rushed to the hospital, but he was pronounced dead at 4:03 p.m. The official causes of death of respiratory failure and cardiac arrest, associated with multiple gunshot wounds. He was cremated the next day, and it was given to his family. Well, at least Tupac is in a better place. Yeah, he's forever gone, but never forgotten. Always remember Tupac and his masterpiece of music and famous movie acting. So in conclusion, what was your favorite part of Tupac during his lifespan? So yeah, I'm really curious to see that. Well, anyways, if you like rap music, yeah, I suggest listening to him, because his music is so inspirational. Yeah, Tupac was motherfucking now. What's yo? Kimela Productions is one of those users who made funny ass content that were inspired by various users who made memes and shit. So I heard that he is inactive until October. Well, it is October now, so he must be returning back to social media. Alright, my fellow peeps, without further ado, let's get straight into him. Alright, let's start with his content. His videos are filled with funny dank memes, G major videos, introduction videos for some users and characters with health bars, which is very entertaining at most, and other videos that he worked so hard on. Hard on, that's what she said. Alright, so his start of his YouTube career just happened almost 8 years ago, back in October 23rd, 2013. But he hasn't uploaded a single fucking video until October 2nd, 2018, titled David Playing Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, we know what this game is rated in the description below. So, yep. David is very good at this game, don't you think, peeps? I hope he makes it way to the fucking end or something. Reach to 100% or over. So, his video went from an amateur to a pro compared to how time and effort he put on his videos for the past 3 years. God damn, see how professional and inspiring his videos that he made nowadays? It's just getting entertaining more and more. Well, just to dig up the old ones, it seems he made a few Plotagon videos of characters getting grounded and other shit. But I don't know if he does use it like I always do nowadays. Well, I could see that Kimela is right about what Jonah Campbell did, and I'm very disappointed of what Jonah did was wrong, especially that Jonah made fun of people who are disabled. That's disabled shaming. Yeah, that's not cool. Well, his videos that I might enjoy the most is his health bar videos. They seem entertainment, aren't they? Yeah, they give me laughs just as funny as fuck as it gets. His most popular video on his YouTube channel is Doritos Reaction My Toe Raging Over Geometry Dash with Health Bars. And wow, it was uploaded at the first day of 2020. The same day that the Angry Grandma and Jake uploaded the video named More Dirty Loud Noises Prank on Sleeping Grandma. So what? Those videos laughed my ass off. I really enjoyed that shit. Yeah, isn't that right? So, right now, Kimela Productions has over 8,000 subscribers, and we will see if he can reach up to 9,000 or even better, 10,000 subscribers. Well, I'll be goddamn. And what do I gotta say about Kimela Productions' avatar? In his Truth of Jonah Campbell video, well, I gotta say, he looks really cool with that mask on. But if he shows himself without his mask, well, I bet that he would look cool. Yeah, Kimela Productions with his mask on really reminds me of Strider Hear You, somewhat. And one other thing is that, well, Kimela has a community post full of advices and other shit that he warned us, just to prevent us from getting fucked up or something. Yeah, getting screwed over by watching this video called "Don't Trust This User Term in a Nutshell," and talk about the fighting and drama in this, yeah, whatever situation it is. Yeah, birthday shoutouts, and yeah, I could see that. And it's really not that bad. Well, yeah, I hope his criticism content goes well. Is this true? Well, I could see that. So yeah, he even asked last week that if he should make a video about the Vion community. Well, I would say that it's up to him, but the Vion community itself is just pure old fucking trash. Well, anyway, so in conclusion, Kimela Productions is one of those users who deserve a second chance if he comes back in October, which is this month. So yeah, I hope that he improves his behavior, and I hope nothing gets worse for him. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe to this user if you get the chance. So like I said before, and I'll say it again. If he reaches to... let's see if he can reach up to 9,000 subscribers, or even better, 10,000. Alright peeps, that's all I gotta say. Alright my fellow peeps, we have a 5th triple salute house coming our way. So what we're gonna salute on will be Daisy the Hedgehog, Rose the Hedge Cat Princess, and General Prince Cody H.W. Werehog. Now let's get into them to see what the fuck is that. Alright. Okay, on with the first segment, Daisy the Hedgehog Dream Team. Alright, Daisy the Hedgehog has a YouTube channel that has almost 160 subscribers. 160 subscribers. So let's talk about her design first. She has light blue hair. Her Nightosphere amulet suit looks a great fit on her, with some improved elements. And she wears some sport/workout related shit to get ready for some battle or whatever it is. Or is it just for fun? Other than that, she looks so great. So Daisy is an amino user who met Orion, also known as Cyberpod Mark II, from Princess Flair's amino community. Yeah, she's been looking for a relationship while Cyberpod was trying to deal with Natalie's drama until some people like Trevor Matters found out that Natalie was cheating on Orion. Yeah, Orion is Cyberpod, just to let you know. To avoid the confusion. Behind his fucking back. How the fucking hell could Natalie play with Cyberpod's heart like that? This is some bullshit right there, man. Well, don't fucking request me to rant on that cheater. Orion asked Daisy if she could do a channel update, and she gave Orion her permission to giving Natalie's YouTube/Midway account just to reclaim as her own account and explain the side of story about breaking up and other shit. Anyways, I hope that Daisy and Orion would be a great couple and a great improvement. Yeah, I do ship them. Okay then, on with Rose the Hedge Cat Princess. Her content looks solid in a very good way. Her design is inspired by Amy Rose. Looks good on her with new colors. She is an artist back at Google Plus, and Cyberpod met her back in between 2018 and 2019. Yeah, I felt really bad that she got bullied and betrayed by a lot of toxic ass Sonic fan base. Yeah, people who bash his opinions. What the fuck? Well, back in 2020, which is last year, Rose that Natalie was a cheater and was so much upset how Natalie wrongly dated Orion as the wrong person. Man, Natalie is such a psychotic fuck. She has problems and she needs to go get some help. So, she has a YouTube channel that contains over 80 subs. Orion gave her one of his animations and arts just to entertain her fans. Like after how Rose was hurt before Orion gave Rose some advice and constructive criticism just to learn things from her mistakes and avoid toxic people from various toxic and shit-sucking cock-fucking community. And we're happy that she started a new life on Midway, becoming an animator in the future, making good content inspired by ours, and learning how to improve. Yeah, keep it up, Amy. Or Rose the Hedge Cat. Yeah, we do believe in you. Can't give up. We do not want you to give up. Okay. General Prince Cody H.W. Werehog is another artist that he was doing some role plays and learned a lot of things about Orion back in 2019. He has a few channels on YouTube. His first account has 74 subscribers, and his second one has only 17. Damn. Cody also became a communicator to expose various people who has an attitude of negativity and other bullshit that we don't want to have in our presence. Yeah, especially if someone's talking shit to everyone that we do not deserve. Verbal abusive is just unhealthy. But in our videos, when it comes to comedy, it's a different story, but we're not talking about comedy shit right now. He did make different things by helping me and Ryan to get explanations about JRV Enterprises / Star Productions and many other people. Well, I was glad that I was not part of this shit that much, because the fan and hate bases of Star Productions is just fucked up beyond belief. Don't forget about Trevor Matters' help as well. Sometimes Cody had anger issues about anyone with obnoxious behaviors who take things too literal. Yeah, he did become a close friend to Orion, and his content are great and once again inspiring. If there is something that we could have learned things about some issue. Yeah, it's a really good story, don't you think? Yeah, it is. Alright, my fellow peeps, so in conclusion is that these 3 users that I saluted on deserved more love and support and also respect. Especially Cyberpod Mark II, who requested me to salute on them. Cyberpod has over 1,000 subs, and guess what? These 3 deserve to gain popularity and shit around social media. So what can I say? Is that go ahead and subscribe to their channels if y'all like. Yeah, I bet they're improving for real, and they better keep their hopes up, and they could do it. We believe in them, never give up. Yeah. We don't want their prides to be lost like what the fuck happened last time or whatever it is. Okay, so Daisy, Rose, and Cody, if you're seeing this right now, all I want to say is that I hope that you're having a better life, improving yourselves, making good shit, and don't give up of what you believe. Yeah, we do believe in you. We believe in you 3.
Hello Belleville Mayor, it's good to see you in this week's Salute House episode. Hello Mason, I'm glad to be here with you. So what segment do you have for us to salute on? What we are about to salute on is the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. Yeah, this is the best choice that you have ever requested on this series. Yup, definitely on the top 5, or top 10 of whatever best requests that you accepted. We can only hope BHM. Okay then. The Super Smash Bros. Franchise is a crossover fighting game series published by Nintendo and primarily features characters from various Nintendo franchises. I see that, even that this crossover series is inspired by Marvel vs. fucking Capcom. The Super Smash Bros. Franchise started with the Nintendo 64 release back in January 21, 1999. 1 year after Marvel vs. Capcom released in arcade, the series featured the characters from Super Mario, Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, Yoshi, Star Fox, and of course, Pokemon. If you play the Melee version of it, there's more characters, even the new franchise that appeared in Melee, which is Fire Emblem, and the Game & Watch series. Ever since the Brawl came out on Wii, we have characters from other franchises that aren't Nintendo related, that is Sonic the Hedgehog, Metal Gear, Mega Man, Street Fighter, Pac-Man, Castlevania, the King of Fighters, etc. Don't you mean the king of fuckers? Do it now? Just kidding, pal.
Ugh, Samus, can we change the channel? Because this episode is making me upset.
You shut the fuck up, Mai. Just because you aren't the part of the Super Smash Bros. Community doesn't mean you can be jealous about it.
Well, it's not even my fault that because one of the lewdest related characters from the King of fucking Fighters.
Well, in the gameplay, the Smash fighting games are different. When you think of this and any other fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom, or Capcom vs. SNK and so on. Instead of winning by depleting an opponent's life bar, players seek to launch their opponents off the stage and out of bounds. Characters have a damage total which rises as they take damage, represented by a percentage value that measures up to 999%. Yup, So approximately 90 or 150% of damage can make you lose your life in a matter of seconds, don't you think? It actually depends on how much damage that you can take in this game. They even have some useful objects to whack your characters with, such as the Homeland Bat, Beam Sword, Bob OMBS, Koopa Shells, Ray Guns, Super Scopes, etc. The one thing that we can't forget about is the fucking ball smash that is the final smash that can beat the shit out of your ass that easy with it. Just doing hyper combo finishing moves in Marvel vs. Capcom and Capcom vs. SNK and Dragon Ball Z games and other fighting games that has something to do with combo finishing moves. So those features are so excellent, the graphics just kept getting better and better than ever, music soundtracks, even the heavy metal tracks are enjoyable, it's fun and addicting. I know, right? There's not that much of any flawless moments that can get the games from messing it up. Especially if the characters ended up in DLC. Everything about the franchise is perfect, and it's all thanks to Masahiro Sakurai and Shigeru Miyamoto.
I'm glad to see Mega Man in this series.
But no thanks to them for cutting me off of the Super Smash Bros. Community.
And my Shiranui, you better shut the fuck up because I'm throwing you out for the rest of the fucking episode. Alright peeps, here is Lord03. How are y'all doing? Thanks for having me, Mason. No problem, Lord Red. So what segment do we have for this week? What we have is Robot Chicken. Ah yes, Robot Chicken, one of the best sketch comedy shows I have ever watched on Adult Swim. Exactly right, the show got you inspired by, well, don't forget about the whitest kids you know, the kids in the hall, Chappelle's Show and so on. True that. This show was also known as Sweet J Presents back in 2001. The show wasn't aired on TV until 4 years later in 2005. This show is created by Seth Green and Matthews and Riken, based in Toy Fair. Well, Lord Red, what is this show about? Well, Mason, Seth and Matthew created the off-the-wall comedy hit, which is a series of pop culture parodies using stop-motion animation of toys, dolls, and action figures. The title character was an ordinary chicken until he was run down by a car and subsequently brought back to life in cyborg form by a mad scientist, Fritz Hunmurder. Well, holy fucking shit, what the hell happened next? Fritz Hunmurder tortures the robot chicken by forcing him to watch a random selection of TV shows. Wow! Especially if it has something to do with anything against his own will, which is screwed the hell up. Exactly. The sketches that make up the body of each episode, the show often features special episodes built around a single theme, including Star Wars and DC Comics. So the show even includes characters from other franchises such as Thundercats, He-Man, Muppets, She-Ra, Star Wars, Scooby-Doo, Garfield, Popeye, Flintstones, Strawberry Shortcake, Marvel Comics, Transformers, G.I. Joe, etc. Yeah, you've done the same thing, but with Doraemon, Mega Man, Darkstalkers, and various characters from various franchises, right? Yup, it's also like watching the 3D animation version of The Whitest Kids You Know. But it's a shame that Trevor Moore died 2 months ago. Yeah, it's such a damn shame. So what we found on Google after asking Google questions about the show is that the animators have to do the shots frame by frame from the beginning to the end. It takes them approximately 6 months to shoot the whole season of 20 episodes. Sounds like a hard-ass work to finish, don't you think? I bet the Robot Chicken staff got permission from other companies before starting to put characters from other franchises. And there are characters that Seth and Matthew created themselves, such as Robot Chicken, Fritz Hunmurder, Cluckerella, Tony Rocky Horror. Oops, I meant Tony Hunmurder Anderson. Okay, there's more characters that Seth and Matthew made. Right, they got us the nerd. No, not that fucking nerd. This nerd that we're talking about, we also have Arthur Kensington Jr. Unicorn, Molar, Composite Santa Claus. The humping robot. There's also Little Drummer Boy, Bitch Pudding, Gyro Robo, Gary the Stormtrooper, Aliens, and the bloopers host. Well, that show was so funny and enjoyable that this is worthy to binge these episodes until we reach the end. Way to bring back memories to laugh at one of our most favorite moments that they won't forget. Indeed to that, Lord Red, so let's wrap this up.
Well, Mason, what is your conclusion of these 2 segments that you saluted on?
The Super Smash Bros. Franchise is one of the most memorable franchise I have ever heard of ever since I was a kid with this Melee release on the GameCube, and Robot Chicken is one of the most funniest sketch comedy shows I have ever watched. And I want to thank Bell Hill Mayor and Lorded03 for requesting them. You're most welcome, Mason. We're glad that you accepted them. And I'd like to thank you and Mai for appearing in this show, even though that Mai has a jealous attitude right now, so where's Mai now, Samus?
Oh, Mai ran outside of your studio and crying like a bitch over not being in the Super Smash Bros. Community.
Even though that I felt bad for Mai, she'll get over it.
Indeed on that, man.
I'm glad that we had this episode covered up. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna head down to Whataburger to get a triple bacon cheeseburger to celebrate.
Mason Velez, if I ever see you again, I'm gonna kick your fucking plotagon ass so hard that you'll be shitting out of your mouth.
Did you hear what Mai said about Mason? She's threatening to beat him up.
Mai's threatening to find and give Mason a falsified beating. This is a bad case.
If Mai even dares lay a finger on Mason, we're gonna do something that she will regret.
Mai sure knew you are so screwed. We gotta find and warn Mason before it's too late.
Okay, my fellow peeps, so... yeah, Venom Let There Be Carnage is a 2021 American superhero film featuring the Marvel Comics character Venom. Yeah, the same character from Marvel vs. fucking Capcom. Clash of super fucking heroes. Produced by Columbia Pictures in association with Marvel and Tencent Pictures and distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It is the second film in Sony's Spider-Man universe and a sequel to Venom. Yeah, the 2018 film of Venom. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I have not watched this movie yet, but I sure love to see it. And I haven't seen the first Venom movie either. So yeah, I'd like to see these two films along with all 3 Spider-Man films. Yeah. Anyway, peeps, let's get into them. Alright, my fellow peeps, FYI, this contains fucking spoilers. So you have been warned. In 1996, a young Cletus Cassidy watches helplessly as his love, Francis Barrison, who has the ability of sound manipulation, is taken away from St. Estes' home for unwanted children to the Ravencroft Institute. On the way, she attempts to use her sonic scream powers to escape, attacking young police officer Patrick Mulligan, who shoots Francis in the eye and suffers an injury to his ear due to her scream. Unbeknownst, Patrick, who believes he killed her, Francis is taken to the facility which is hardened against her powers. In present time, Patrick, now a detective, contacts Eddie Brock to speak to Cletus, a serial killer who refuses to talk to anyone other than Eddie following their interview a year prior. A visit, Venom, Eddie's symbiote, is able to figure out where Cletus has hidden the bodies of the victims, where he gives Eddie a huge career boost. Eddie is then contacted by his ex-fiancée, Anne Wayne, who tells him that she is now engaged to Dr. Dan Lewis, much to Venom's displeasure. Well, holy fucking shit. Isn't that fucked up? Well, unless it has something to do with cheating on or whatever it is. Yeah, you gotta have to live with it or move the fuck on. So yeah, Cletus, who is found guilty of his crimes and earlier sentenced to death by lethal injection. Hey, yeah, lethal injection. I should have thought about doing such a thing to Dr. Wily instead of starting a Grounded series. Nah, I'm just kidding about it. But we're not talking about that Dr. Asshole Wily right now. So anyways, Cletus invited Brock over to San Quentin Tarantino. I'm sorry, peeps. I'm at San Quentin State Prison. Okay, so Cletus invited Eddie Brock over to San Quentin State Prison, where Cassidy... yeah, Cletus Cassidy is detained on death row to attend his execution. However, Venom is provoked to attack Cletus via insult towards Eddie. A shocked Cletus Cassidy bites Eddie's hand, indigesting a small part of the symbiote. observing his blood to begin to move on its own. Back home, Venom wanting more freedom to eat bad people instead of chickens. And has an argument with Eddie, and the two ended up fighting until the symbiote detaches from his body. They go their different ways. Ah, shit. Yeah, I don't know why friendships had to go bad sometimes. Alright. Cletus's execution fails when a red symbiote emerges and blocks the injection. He introduces himself as Carnage. And then Carnage goes on a violent rampage through the prison, freeing inmates and killing guards. So Cletus and Carnage then make a deal. Carnage will help Cletus break out Francis from Ravencroft, and Cletus will help him eliminate Eddie and Venom. Patrick Mulligan calls Eddie and warns him about the situation. In Ravencroft, Cletus frees Francis, and they travel to their old children's home to burn it down. Okay, I don't know what the fuck is this going on. I just don't know why it has something to do with arson and shit. Wait a minute, I never seen the movie yet. Sorry about that. Okay, so Patrick, suspicious of Eddie due to his interactions with Cletus before Carnage emerged, takes Eddie to the police station. Oh shit!
How do I look?
Fuck you, Morrigan! Sorry about that, peeps. Let's proceed. Then Eddie refuses to answer to Patrick's questions and contacts Anne as his lawyer. Well, I'll be damned. Eddie reveals that Venom has separated from him and needs the symbiote to fight Carnage together. As Venom makes his way through San Francisco by hoping from body to body, Anne finds and convinces him to forgive Eddie. She bonds with Venom and breaks Eddie out of the police station. Eddie and Venom make amends to bond again. Yeah, it sure is great to have friendship to bond. Alright, Cletus takes Patrick hostage. Francis captures Anne after failing to find Eddie Brock. Well, that's fucking crazy. Holy shit, I'll be goddamned about that. Okay, so anyways, Francis gives Lewis, Dr. Dan Lewis, information on Anne's whereabouts and gives it to Eddie Brock. Cletus and Francis plan to get married at a cathedral where Venom appears and fights Carnage, who acknowledges Venom as his father and whom Venom reluctantly fights due to its deadly nature, until Eddie convinces him. Francis seemingly kills Patrick by hanging him into the chain. Oh shit. Venom holds his own against his spawn, but he is eventually brutally overpowered by Carnage, and the latter decides to kill Anne atop of the cathedral. Wow. Venom manages to rescue Anne in time and provokes the fuck out of Francis to use her powers again. Her sonic blast, amplified by the cathedral's bell, causes both symbiotes to separate from their hosts as the cathedral collapses and the falling bell kills Francis Barrison. Venom saves Eddie by bonding with him before the impact. Carnage tries to bond with Cletus Cassidy again, but Venom devours the symbiote. Oh my fucking god, man. Cletus states that he only wanted to be Eddie's friend, but Venom bites Cletus's head off. Oh shit! Okay, while Eddie, Venom, Anne, and Dr. Dan Lewis escape, a still living corpse of Patrick Mulligan's eyes flash blue. Eddie and Venom decided to take a vacation while they pondered their next steps. In the mid-credits scene, as Venom tells Eddie about the symbiote's hive knowledge of other universes, a blinding light transports them from their hotel to another room. Yeah, if you wanted to know why is that, yeah, you'll find out after the credits is gonna end. Yeah, I don't want to spoil that final scene in the mid-credit shit. So in conclusion, my fellow peeps, this sequel was supposed to be released last year in October, but sadly it was delayed due to this goddamn fucking COVID-19 pandemic. So the film has grossed over $287 million worldwide and received mixed reviews from critics. Well, I haven't seen the sequel or the 2018 film for that matter, but yeah, I sure love to see them. But if that sequel was ever sold out in my area, well, I could always wait until it's released on DVD and Blu-ray. So, that wraps it up. So if you like this movie, well, that's good. And if you don't, well, that's alright with me.
How's that feel?
Shut the fuck up! Alright, my fellow peeps, we're going to travel this bitch back into 1994. Because this is the start of the entire Cruis'n series. With this full motion look-alike video game, Cruis'n USA. It's an arcade racing game originally released on that year, and it was developed and published by Nintendo along with Midway Games. It is the first game in the Cruis'n series and features races set in locations across the continental United States. So anyway, my fellow peeps, let's get into this fucking goodness of all racing games. Alright, Cruis'n USA is branded as the first release of the Nintendo Ultra 64 platform, or Nintendo 64 collaboration between Nintendo and Midway, when it was based on the Midway V-Unit arcade hardware, predating the Ultra 64 Killer Instinct arcade, which would have become the Nintendo 64. But sadly, the Nintendo 64 never happened until 1996. Yeah, I'm not mad at Nintendo, but shame on them for delaying the release of the Nintendo 64 with this piece of fucking shit-ass virtual console, as they call it, that is the fucking Virtual Boy. Fuck the Virtual Boy up its stupid fucking asshole! Well, let's forget about the Virtual Boy because I already ranted on that last season. But let's focus on Cruis'n USA right now. Okay, so anyways, when you insert a coin and if you push start, you have 11 options to select. And 3 of the tracks are fucking hidden. Yeah, or should I say 4. So anyways, yeah, you can pick the Redwood Forest, Chicago, US 101, LA Freeway, Appalachia, Indiana, or whatever track you choose. Or if you want to get to the main course, all you gotta do is just stay on the rectangular spot, chose Cruis'n USA, and it's off to Washington, D.C. to spend some time in the hot tub with the president. And after that, you have automatic and manual transmission to select, and afterwards, we have 4 vehicles for you to select. The 4 vehicles featured in the game are generic vehicles based on their real-life counterparts, which consists of a 1963 Chevrolet Corvette labeled as a 1963 muscle car, a 1940 Ford V8 Deluxe labeled as La Bamba, a Hyundai HCD Epoch 2 labeled as Devastator 4, bonus cars, oh yeah, but hold on with the bonus cars, and a 1991 Ferrari Testarossa labeled as the Italia P69. It is one of my most personal favorite cars throughout the Cruis'n USA game. Yes, sirree, Bob. Alright, there's only 3 bonus cars. Consists of a 1991 Chevrolet Caprice police car, a fucking school bus, and a Jeep Wrangler labeled as an all-terrain vehicle. And I gotta say, the school bus is the slowest and clumsiest one of all throughout the whole game and throughout the rest of the Cruis'n series. So anyways, like in most racing games, players race down one-way courses consisting of streets vaguely based on real-life locations. While racing, they do their best to avoid various road hazards such as oncoming traffic and construction. Players choose between 7 different cars with either an automatic or manual translation. The environments include Golden Gate Park in San Francisco to Washington, D.C. Yeah, I have said that already. I don't understand why is that sometimes. In each race, players must reach the first place to advance the next track to win a free fucking game. But if you reached from second to last place, all you have to do is just insert another coin to play again. Well, unless that you have quarters left, and if you still have dollars left, you better exchange it to more quarters for the next 20 seconds, and if it doesn't give you any time, which is 20 seconds is up afterwards, you better push start to reset it to get more time. But, however, if you're going too slow, the game is over for your ass and you're gonna have to start the fuck all over again if you have any quarters and made it too fucking late. But yeah, there is no game over. Yeah, just like in Conan for the Nintendo that Film and Stuff reviewed years ago. Okay, so anyways, there is a time limit to reach the goal, which can be extended by driving through checkpoints. So yeah, the default limitation is... Yeah, the limitation of time is 75 seconds, and it'll give you 20 bonus seconds if you reach the fucking checkpoint. If the player does not reach before the timer reaches 0, the game ends, unless there is a continue available. Unlike most racing games, there is the option to change the music by pressing the music button. Yeah, pressing the fucking music button to change one of your favorite tracks that you want to see throughout this fucking game. Such as the fucking... Yeah, Redline Shuffle, Deadwood Ride, or Tubular Surf. Well, my favorite tracks are the arcade versions of Redline Shuffle, Tubular Surf, and Deadwood Ride. Yeah, speaking of music, hear the fucking arcade format. And listen to the Nintendo 64 version. I gotta say, the arcade version of the soundtrack it really kicked ass. But as for the Nintendo 64, it does what it can to make it realistic because of the fucking cartridge. So anyways, look at the graphics of the arcade. Look how realistic it looks like. See how crystal clear it is? Yeah, you just wanted to live with that type of realistic ones. But for the Nintendo 64, yeah, it's as clear as it gets. No pun intended or frustration involved. So the arcade version was critically and commercially successful, drawing favorable comparisons to Daytona USA by Sega. The Nintendo 64 version received poor reviews, but was also commercially successful. However, my fellow peeps, there's some censorship concepts in the Nintendo 64 version of Cruis'n USA, such as running over animals, turning animals into gobs of meat. Yeah, there's a trophy woman with a bikini, giving you the trophy, but for the Nintendo 64 version, it's the same woman with the same trophy, but the difference is that she's wearing a Cruis'n USA shirt, which I don't mind that much. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, so I don't know why is it that? Because it is rated E for everyone, or rather, kids to adults or shit. Yeah, kids to adults rating was turned to everyone in the middle of 1998. So, all bullshit aside, the fucking games, yeah, these two versions of the same game is so fucking classic that no one can resist. And I do not give a fuck if the Nintendo 64 is not good or whatever you say. I still love it. I still love both versions. So in conclusion, I really, brutally, 100% plus recommend Cruis'n USA. It's one of the best cruising games that I have ever played in the arcade, and I have ever seen on a Nintendo 64 on YouTube. So, if you don't like both of those versions, or the Cruis'n series for that matter, well, that's alright with me. Well, I really wish that this game was the part of the Nintendo 64 mini classics, or whatever you say. But other than that, this is the best racing game I have ever watched. I have ever seen, I've ever played, I've ever whatever. It's fucking worth it. Once it's worth it, always worth it.
Well, Artada, would you like to tell the audience about Kobe Bryant along with me? Yeah, Kobe Bryant was an American professional basketball player, a shooting guard. He spent his entire 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers in the National Basketball Association, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. According to his experience, Kobe won the 5 NBA championships, was an 18-time All-Star, a 15-time member of the All-NBA team, a 12th-time member of the All-Defense team, the 2008 NBA Most Valuable Player, or MVP for short. Right, and he's a 2-time NBA Finals MVP. Kobe also led the NBA in scoring twice and ranks 4th in league all-time regular season and postseason scoring. I also heard that he was posthumously voted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2020. Yeah, but it's always too soon to lose a person you admire as a fan. So what was his life look like? Kobe Bryant started playing basketball at the age of 3, and the Lakers were his favorite team when he was growing up. When he was 6, his dad retired from the NBA and moved his family to Rieti in Italy to continue playing professional basketball. I see. So, 2 years later they moved first to Reggio Calabria, then to Pistoia and Reggio Emilia. Kobe became accustomed to his new lifestyle and learned to speak fluent Italian. I see. Kobe and his family moved back to the Philadelphia at the age of 13, where he enrolled in 8th grade at Ballison White Middle School. Before Kobe's last NBA season for his career, and after recovering to play in the 2015-16 preseason, he suffered a calf injury and missed the final 2 weeks of exhibition games. Ouch! That really hurts. I know, but however, he played in the season opener to begin his 20th season with the Lakers, surpassing John Stockton's league record of 19 for the most season with the same team. In the season finale on April 13, 2016, Kobe scored an NBA season-high 60 points against Utah in his last NBA game, and the Lakers finished the season with a 17-65 record, their worst record in franchise history. At 9:06 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on January 26, 2020, a Sikorsky S-76 helicopter departed from John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California with 9 people aboard. 39 minutes later, the helicopter crashed into the side of a mountain in Calabasas about 30 miles northwest of downtown Los Angeles and began burning. Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna Bryant, and the other 7 occupants were all killed on impact. It was the worst day that happened to all of us, especially the rest of Kobe's family. But we will always remember him, and he's always watching us in heaven. Yeah, he was the most memorable basketball player we ever had, and the greatest father that his kids ever had. Alright then, Brian, are we about to salute on DMX? Just like what the next segment is, yes. Cool! Earl Simmons, known by his stage name DMX, which is an acronym for Dark Man X, was an American rapper and actor. He began rapping in the early 90s and released his debut album titled It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Exactly right, Mason, to both critical acclaim and commercial success, selling over 250,000 copies within its first week of release. DMX released his best-selling album titled And then there was X. Like Mega Man X? Just fucking with y'all. That Party Up in Here track was the fucking shit! I meant it was awesome. Now then, DMX was the first artist to debut number 1 5 times in a row on the Billboard 200 charts. Overall, DMX has sold over 74 million records worldwide. Wow! How impressive as hell. DMX was born on December 18, 1970, with various accounts giving his birthplace as either Baltimore, Maryland or Mount Vernon, New York. Years later, Earl Simmons met Reddy Ron, a local rapper who was impressed with Earl's beatboxing skills and asked him to become his partner. Is that the part Earl Simmons got his stage name that is DMX? Yup, which came from an instrument he had used at the boys' home, the Oberheim DMX drum machine. It later was also interpreted as Darkman X. DMX recorded tracks from September 1996 to January 1998 for his debut album, his first major label album It's Dark and Hell is Hot, which included the single Rough Riders Anthem. It was sold over 5 million copies. It got him into number 1 on the Billboard 200. And then there was X album was certified 6 times platinum and was nominated for Best Rap Album at the 2001 Grammy Awards. I heard that he was a born-again Christian and stated that he read the Bible every day. 1 year before his death, he held an online Bible study and asked people to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. Unfortunately, the DMX legacy is dying starting with April 2, 2021 at approximately 11 p.m. He was rushed to the White Plains Hospital where he was reported to be in critical condition following a heart attack at his house, possibly resulting from a drug overdose. On the morning of April 9, 2021, while I was on my way to work, the DMX legacy was no more when he lost functionality in multiple essential organs, reportedly his liver, kidneys, lungs, and was pronounced dead, and the official cause of death was a cocaine-induced heart attack. Yeah, he was the best rapper and the best actor ever since we watched Cradle to the Grave. Well, the bright side is that DMX is in heaven, so it doesn't mean that DMX or memories of him and Kobe Bryant are forgotten. Yeah, both memories will always be remembered no matter what. Before we end this DMX salute, I heard that really did great at acting that is Belly, Romeo Must Die, Cradle to the Grave, Lords of the Street, Death Toll, King Dog, Beyond the Law, Fast and Furious Death Race, etc. Yup, the TV shows that he appeared were also great. That is the Chef 8 episode from South Park, music guest in Chappelle's Show. He even released various documentation shows, and did only once voice acting in a video game, Def Jam Vendetta. Man, even though that DMX had bad things to live with in his life, but his music and his acting careers are great and perfect. It certainly does, Mason. It certainly does. So in conclusion is that I wish that the deaths of Kobe Bryant and DMX didn't happen, because these guys were the best in the world due to Kobe's basketball experience, and DMX's great rapping and acting performance. So I would like to once again thank Art Tata for this time, both requests for this week's Salute House episode, even himself and Umbrian appearing on this show. Yeah, we like to thank you for accepting my request, Mason. We'll always remember those legendary men who spent years living with their hard works. Well, that settles it for this week. Even though those guys are no longer on Earth, we will still remember them from this day until the end of time.
Area 51 is a light gun video game released in arcades everywhere by Midway Games under the name Atari, along with Time Warner Interactive in 1995, and ported to the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and PC back in 1996. And yeah, 1996 is the time where we have the Nintendo 64, finally. So anyways, it takes its name from the military facility, and I really want to fucking admit that this game is a memorable rail shooting game I've ever played a long ass time ago. In my high school years, well, I actually played it once, but didn't manage to complete the whole game. But oh well, I did the best I could. So anyways, without further ado, do ass shit, let's get into this, peeps.
I wonder if the real aliens take a good look at this game.
Beats me grand.
The plot of the game involves the player taking a part in the Strategic Tactical Advanced Alien Response, or STAR for short, military incursion to prevent aliens known as the Kron, and alien-created zombies from taking over the Area 51 military facility.
Oh son of a bitch, those aren't the aliens I expect to see.
Zombie aliens, they say. This is getting bizarre.
Alright, so here is the fucking gameplay. Yeah, so I'll tell you that. This game takes the player through several sections of the facility, including warehouse and tunnels. The player character is tasked along with a few special tactical advanced alien response, or once again, STAR for short. Yeah, the STAR members Lieutenant Stephanie Grant and Sergeant Major Marcus Bradley to penetrate the Area 51 and activate the nuclear self-destruct sequence. The player must defeat genetically modified zombie soldiers and aliens without harming any allied STAR team members. If nothing but 3 STAR team members are shot, the Cron Hunter mode is started, taking the role of a hunter sent by the Cron to eliminate the rebels.
Cue the Cron mode, as Mason calls it.
Or, in other words, yeah, you'll see the negative side, which, like, the scrambled errors of graphical shit. Yeah. So there are 5 types of weaponry available, while the player is only given a semi-automatic pistol. In the beginning, weapon upgrades are available as targets. The pistol can be upgraded into an automatic machine gun, a pump shotgun, and finally an automatic shotgun. The shotgun weaponry allows a greater field of an error for targeting an enemy. Both the machine gun and automatic shotguns allow the player to keep the trigger pressed down to unleash rounds. If the player character is hit by the enemy at any time, well, I don't know if it's going to happen the same as to shoot the STAR members. Well, fuck, I never played the PlayStation version of it before. The weapon is downgraded all the way back to the pistol. Ain't that a bitch?
Well, that was different, but let's see what Mason has to say next.
So, characters are hidden in crates and bonus rooms. When used, they destroy most on-screen enemies at once.
What the fuck? Why are those aliens doing at the fucking restroom?
I bet those aliens don't stink up the whole bathroom, so my suggestion is to put air freshener afterwards.
It's still gonna smell like Jake's shit.
The player can hold a maximum of 9 grenades. In addition, yellow boxes and barrels marked with flammable warning symbols that can be shot to cause fires or explosions that can harm enemies. By shooting certain objects in the correct sequence, players can unlock shooting exercises, weapon stashes, and bonus items that are not available in the main game plot. Other back doors allow players to warp ahead to later levels instead of following the game's otherwise linear path. Yeah, that would be... Yeah, that would save you some time if you don't want the fucking high score or something. But if you really wanted to have the fucking high score, I suggested you start from the beginning.
Is that what people care about? Getting high scores in games on the leaderboard?
How should I know? I don't play games like that.
There are many types of aliens/alien zombies, including ones that shoot, punch, fire rockets, and throw things like bricks, grenades, and barrels. Purple alien and alien zombies require more hits than other targets. In 1996, the game was ported to the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and PC. Yeah, I said that before. Because Atari games had been purchased by WMS Industries and Interim. These versions were published by WMS's Midway Games subsidiary. It was re-released on PlayStation back in 2001 by Midway as part of their Midway Classics range in fucking Europe. Tiger Electronic later released a handheld version of the game with an LCD screen and small light gun.
Tiger handheld games. Those games are pieces of fucking shit.
Whoa, Granny, look at this.
Well, yeah, ain't that really shitty? So, yeah, we're talking about ratio aspect or some shit. The PlayStation version supports full screen play, while the Sega Saturn format has a border covering about 50% of the screen. Yeah, just like the fucking arcade. Yeah, it is quite a good feature, but that's just bizarre in my opinion. The Sega Saturn version supports all the console's light guns. The PlayStation version supports the Konami Justifier, but not the Namco Gun Con. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I might as well get the Konami Justifier over the Gun Con.
Now that's just in freaking fair, is it?
I don't know what gun controllers are, but whatever.
Despite the arcade version running on modified Atari Jaguar, it was never ported onto the system itself. According to Atari Games, by the time of Area 51's release, the company no longer saw the Jaguar as viable platform. Oh, so is it scrapped? Well, ain't that a bitch?
The best thing to think about it is to deal with it and move on, Mason.
Okay, so originally the data for the game was to be streamed from a CD player using Cinepack for compression, but since this could only produce a letterbox display, lead programmer Charlie Grisafi opted to instead the run game on CodeJag.
Well, that sure sounds new as hell, Demixolydian.
Well, you can say that, Granny, but this game was out in 1995.
A modified Atari Jaguar used in arcade games, interfaced with the hard disk drive and using Charlie's own custom compression software. Yeah, Charlie recalled the amount of rendering required was a huge obstacle. It was originally done by Robert's team in Texas. But as time went on, the raw horsepower required to do it all become more than they had. I realized that the Silicon Graphics workstations, all the different teams that Atari in California, could be a huge resource for doing this. Atari helped us coordinate getting access to all of the systems and building after hours when the other teams weren't using their systems. So every night we would take over and turn all the SGI systems at Atari into a large render farm.
I wonder how many years of development lasted up to until they finished the whole project, but this looks excellent nonetheless.
Well, I'll be damned. Wow, no wonder why this game was never released on a Nintendo 64 because of this full motion video sequence. Yeah, full motion video look-alike game. Yeah, because the Nintendo 64 is utilized cartridges because, yeah, you can't use full motion videos on a cartridge game. Not unless you go to a modern era of fucking full motion video shit. Well, I've seen that in Super Street Fighter 4 on Nintendo 3DS.
According to this game, it has two endings. One is a bad one when you fail to stop the mothership, and the other is the good one when you're fast enough to stop the mothership.
I hope those two players are fast enough to reach the good ending, Demixolydian.
The game utilizes digitized video stored on the onboard hard disk and gives to which every enemy blows apart one shot in exactly the same way, while enemies' innocence and explosions are 2D digitalized video sprites. The levels and vehicles are pre-rendered in 3D. Well, holy shit, the staff of the Area 51 game has done a really good job at releasing this game. After testing it, of course. So, in conclusion, I recommend Area 51 on either system, especially the PlayStation. But the only downside of the console release is that there is no memory card save feature, so I'm very disappointed that this didn't happen. But oh well, at least it's something. If you like any of the old school light gun arcade games, yeah, this is the one for you. So yeah, I can't wait to hunt down aliens, and I wonder if the angry grandma would see such a thing like this.
If the aliens are here, my eyes-hole grandson Jake better not fuck with me.
Well, Granny, we can only hope when it comes to rewards.
Well, let's go get some McDonald's since Mason finished this episode.
Sure thing, Granny. I'm getting hungry anyways.
What's so valuable and special about the $2 bills? It sure is rare to come by, that's what the fuck I know about this. So there are different amounts, different kinds of $2 bills that are really rare to see that in person. To see them in person is what I mean. So anyways, let's get into this rare situation of the history of any foreign currency ever. Most large-sized $2 bills issued from 1862 through 1918. They are highly collectible and are worth at least $100 in well-circulated condition. $100 in well-circulated condition? Shit! This is some memory certified... Yeah, well, some well-certified memory right there. Uncirculated large-size notes are worth at least $500 and could go up to $10,000 or more. $10,000 for just one single $2 bill? Well, holy shit. Who would some person want to spend that much hard-earned money for this rare bill? Okay, a $2 Continental from 1776 will sell for varying amounts depending on condition. On eBay, you can find such bills from going about $150 to $1,500. God damn! But here's the thing about this shit. The $2 bill saved the government a bunch of money, as much as they could for the past life. For the past life? Oh, what? Is that the government wanting to have this $2 bill, keeping it rare or some shit? Well, I never worked for the government, so I'll never know. It's more cost efficient to print 2s instead of 1s, Bernardo says. You can print as half as many 2s and get them the same dollar amount. Today, for example, it costs about 5 cents to make $1, and it costs the amount to make a 2. Rarity, printing the $2 bills is twice as cost effective for the government as printing $1 notes, since they both cost the same amount, 6.2 cents per bill, to manufacture, but the public has not circulated them as widely. During the Great Depression, few Americans had enough money to require $2 notes. Is the $2 bill good or bad? Well, some people say while the $2 bills are sometimes considered bad luck in the US, the rare bills are good luck charms in Ecuador. So, yeah, there's a superstition that if you possess a bill, then more cash will come to you, Dennehy says. Even though I have a few $2 bills, I don't know if I'm gonna have to keep those little sons of bitches or not, but they look rare to me. On second thought, I might as well keep it. Yeah. Crisp $2 bills in red envelopes are a popular gift for Lunar New Year as a token of good luck. A rare nature of the bill has also made it an item collectors covet. But unless it was printed prior to reintroduction in 1976, it is likely to be worth more than a couple of bucks. Why do people use $2 bills? But the $2 bill is a complete afterthought. According to Hannah Kaiser and Mental Floss, the $2 bill was first printed in 1862, the year after the U.S. Treasury started printing money. According to Bernardo, politicians started using the $2 bill to bribe people for votes, and the bills started being used for bribery. Well, I don't know if the fucking bribery is gonna do shit or not. Alongside other denominations, uncut currency sheets of $2 bills are available from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Some of the recent $2 uncut sheets from Series 1995 and Series 2003 have been collectibles as they come from special non-circulation printings. Most of the Series 1995 $2 uncut sheets had a higher suffix letter and a serial number than regular circulation $2 bills. And so, in late 1999, a few months before we have the PlayStation 2, to celebrate the new millennium, a unique run of 9,999 series 1995 $2 star notes were printed for all 12 Federal Reserve banks. The initial printing series of 1995 $2 notes for circulation was for the Atlanta district only. Uncut $2 sheets from Series 2003 were printed from Boston, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Dallas Federal Reserve districts. Notes from the Minneapolis district were the only ones released for the circulation. Uncut sheets of Series 2003 have also been produced, although in this case circulating currency for all 12 districts has also been made. All $2 notes beginning with Series 1995 have been printed at the BEP facility in Fort Worth, Texas. Indicated by FW. Uncut sheets of the $2 bills are available in various sizes. A32 subject sheet, which is the original size sheet on which notes are printed, is available. Other sheet sizes available have been cut from the original 32 subject sheet, These include half 16 note, quarter, 8 note, and 8/4 note sheets. For $2 bills, uncut sheets are sold for more than their prospective face values. Uncut sheets of large size notes issued before 1928 also exist, but are extremely rare. So in conclusion, the question of this week's episode is, what are your fucking opinions of this rare currency? I bet one of those days that you will find a $2 bill while walking and or working on regular basis. Well shit, that could be rare as hell, but I wonder if you're gonna get good luck with this. Midway Arcade Treasures is one of the most memorable compilation series I have ever played. The first Midway Arcade Treasures game is the number 2 that I played on the PlayStation 2 during the end of 2014. What I meant is one day before Christmas. A few months later in 2015, I finally played Midway Arcade Treasures 1 and 3, and with a multi-tap. So yeah. So now that I played all 3 MAT games, short term of Midway Arcade Treasures, let's get into all 3 masterpieces of all old school video gaming memories. Fuck yeah. Talk about gamegasm. Alright. The Midway Arcade Treasures conspiracy has started back in November 17th, 2003 on the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and the original fucking Xbox. Oh yeah, don't forget about the PC as well. Let's focus on the first release. Midway Arcade Treasures 1 contains all 24 games emulated from the original PCBs. The compilation plays similarly on all 3 consoles. However, the Xbox version has an extra ability to upload scores to an online scoreboard. The special features on each version of the game are the same. These include games histories, developer interviews, and other documents. This compilation is a combination of the games included in Williams Arcade Greatest Hits, Midway's Greatest Arcade Hits, Atari Collection Number 2, and Midway Arcade Party Pack for the original PlayStation and PC, and each contain exactly the same extras from those collections. Additionally, there are 11 more games included that are not found in those collections. Well, yeah, how exclusively a great deal. So, while the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 versions can be played on the earliest models of the Wii and PlayStation 3 due to their backwards compatibility, respectively. The Xbox version is not Xbox 360 compatible. Okay, I am not mad at Microsoft, but what the fuck? Why the fuck can you let people to play MAT 1 on the Xbox 360? That's not fair. Okay, let's just move on. In other words, some games were picked as early as 1980 with Defender, and some were late as 1990 with Rampart and Smash TV. On the next is Midway Arcade Treasures 2, the first MAT game I played on the PS2, like I said.
MAT 2!
Also released on the GameCube and Xbox back in October 11th, 2004. This compilation includes 20 games that were not in the 2003 release of Midway Arcade Treasures. Unlike the previous game, it was rated M instead of T, because we have Mortal Kombat 2, 3, and Narc. The game plays similar on all 3 consoles, though the Xbox version has the exclusive ability to upload scores to an online scoreboard once again. However, the Xbox version is not compatible with the Xbox 360. Oh, not again with this! This is some bullshit decision that Microsoft has ever developed in any of the development of Xbox 360. Okay, the special features on each version of the game are the same. These include game histories, developer interviews, and other documents. So this collection is the only arcade classics compilation title on the 6th generation consoles to be rated M. Yeah, I have said that already. So Primal Rage was T-rated because it was released back in 1995 on the Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1, Genesis, Super Nintendo, yeah, and a fucking 32X. And Rampage World Tour is also featured as a bonus game in Rampage Total Destruction on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and the Wii. Yeah, Rampage Total Destruction was rated E10. So yeah. The compilation was planned to include all 3 Mortal Kombat titles, Steel, Talons, and Stun Runner. The first Mortal Kombat game was moved to the Extras disc in limited edition version of Mortal Kombat Deception, while the other 2 games were omitted entirely because of developmental problems. Cosmic Cruiser and Wacko were added instead. These games are that I'm not hype in for that shit. The games were released as early as 1980 with Wizard of War and as late as 1997 with Rampage World Tour, even though I have Rampage World Tour on the original PlayStation. But still. Okay, the first Mortal Kombat later appeared in other compilations from the Midway Arcade Treasure Series Extended Play for the PSP and Deluxe Edition for the PC, while Stun Runner appeared in Midway Arcade Treasures 3. Speaking of MAT 3, let's head out to the third release. This compilation includes 8 racing games that were not in the 2003 or 2004 releases. Midway Arcade Treasures 1 and 2. Okay. Like the first and second installments, however, the Xbox is not compatible with the Xbox 360. Oh, fucking bullshit. This is the third time this happens. Unlike the other installments, it is rated E because there are 8 retro racing games. There are 8 retro racing games featuring San Francisco Rush the Rock 2049, Hydro Thunder, Off-Road Thunder, Race Driving, Stun Runner, Badlands, and Super Off-Road. It was released back in stores. It was released in stores back in September 26, 2005. 4 of them are released in 1989, and 4 of them were released back in the late 90s. Yeah, like I said. The 2 versions of Super Off-Road are the same, but the difference is there is a Super Off-Road track pack. Okay, so while most of the games in this collection are emulators or recreations of the arcade versions, Hydro Thunder and Rush 2049 are based on the console versions, specifically ports to the Dreamcast releases. Yeah, additionally, San Francisco Rush to Rock was reprogrammed from the ground up, while the tracks and vehicles are the same as the arcade version. The physics engine is slightly different, and the music has been replaced, save for the What's Your Name high score music. However, this version runs at 60 frames per second, which is faster than the arcade. Well, shit. Yeah, San Francisco Rush 2049 especially, because most of the game consoles were never provided with numeric keypads, much like some arcade racing games. Oh yeah, the controllers of the Intellivision, ColecoVision, and so on. Shit, even the Atari Jaguar has a keypad on the controller. Oh yeah, don't forget about the Atari 5200 controller. Shit. Okay, Super Off-Road and its track pack is the only game on this collection, and the entire trilogy was not developed by Williams, Atari, or Midway. It was developed and published by the Leland Corporation. Leland. For legal reasons, the image of Iron Man Ivan Stewart has been altered in the 2 Super Off-Road games. He now has sunglasses and a mustache, and both games are now known as simply Super Off-Road. The original arcade versions were known fully as Iron Man Ivan Stewart's Super Off-Road. Iron Man Speed Shop was renamed Off-Road Speed Shop, and Ivan himself, the gray AI-controlled racer, was named Lightning Kevin Liddy. Ivan's name does, however, remain intact on the high score list, IVN, in the game and game credits. Well, I'll be damned. I guess I didn't know that shit until I read the article about it. So what do I have to say about these 3 compilation games? Some games are enjoyable, like Smash TV, Total Carnage, Rampage World Tour, San Francisco Rush, Gauntlets 1 and 2, Mortal Kombat, and some of them are too hard to beat, and some of them are way too simple, yeah, like Bubbles, and some are way too long to beat, like Rampage World Tour, and rarely too hard and unworthy to beat, like Hard Driving, for example. The controls are just right at most games that we play, the music is alright, kick-ass, enjoyable, and sometimes fucking indistinct. And I can see better enhanced graphics there. I hope you can see that too. Overall, they're the best around to have some fun time at the arcades at your own houses. The best part of all that, they're all set to free play, so no quarters required. So in conclusion, I recommend not just one, not just two, but all three of the Midway Arcade Treasures games on either system that has anything to do with them, especially on the PC. Oh yeah, there's also an extended play for the PSP. If those games are released on Steam, I love to be notified by various users even though I don't have Steam. Oh, memories. Hell yeah. This brings people back in the early days of gaming.
Let's start with his personal life. Uncle Roger was born in Kuala Lumpur to Malaysian Chinese parents of Hokkien ancestry. Uncle Roger's father is a businessman selling cars, and his mother is a full-time housewife. He has a sister named Yoki Mai who is a professional harmonicist back home in Malaysia's musical scene. He also has a brother named Gary Cow. Almost 13 years ago, he was graduated from Changhua Independent High School, Kuala Lumpur, and graduated at Northern University back in 2014. Uncle Roger is a fan of Hong Kong comic actor Stephen Chow, and cites Stephen Chow's films as having inspired him to be a comedian. He won the Amused Moose Laugh Off 2016, and was a runner-up in the Laughing Horse New Act of the Year 2015. He was also a finalist in the Leicester Mercury Comedian of the Year 2016 and Leicester Square New Comedian of the Year 2015. He was nominated for the Best Newcomer Award for his stand-up comedy show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2019. Oh, don't forget that Uncle Roger made his TV debut in 2018 on Comedy Central's Stand Up Central. Holy fucking hell, I am amazed that they got into the world of Comedy fucking Central. He hosts the comedy podcast Rise to Meet You with UK-based Swedish comedian Evelyn Mock. Rise to Meet You? Nice pun with this damn deal, that's for sure Uncle Roger. Last year he appeared on the first episode of Mock the Week Series 19, a British comedy show on BBC Two. Well, I'll be damned! I gotta give one of his shows a shot. Nigel Ng has become best known for his comedic persona Uncle Roger, who speaks with a pronounced Cantonese accent and prides himself on many East Asian stereotypes. His comedy partner Evelyn Mock came up with a middle-aged Asian uncle character for a sitcom with Uncle Roger in mind, and he further developed the character on TikTok and Instagram sketches before moving the character to YouTube. Ugh, I wish that TikTok was banned due to those harmful challenges. What the fuck? In July 2020, Uncle Roger attracted attention for his YouTube video critique of Harsha Patel's BBC food video on cooking egg fried rice in this Uncle Roger persona. God damn it! I wonder if we can have the cooked egg fried rice in our taste buds? That would be the shit! After the video went viral, Uncle Roger and Harsha Patel appeared on BBC together. He has also collaborated with Harsha on a YouTube video. In September 2020, he posted a critique video with regards of Gordon Ramsay's fried rice cooking, in which he praised Gordon Ramsay for his correct technique. He has also created a critique video of Jamie Oliver, criticizing him for his faulty method of cooking. He has made it clear that he does not want any of his viewers to spread hate towards anyone. Oh hell, better think twice before making this shit happen. In March 2021 he visited the fabled Chef Sam's restaurant back in Malaysia to make his YouTube video shoot. In his first subsequent video as Uncle Roger, he said he would keep making funny videos, no politics, no drama. I hope there will be no fucking bullshit coming towards Nigel Ng Kinju aka Uncle Roger. Yup. Well, according to this Uncle Roger fandom, Uncle Roger was married to his ex-wife named Auntie Helen. By the meaning of why I said ex-wife rather than plain old wife is that it's unknown how the two broke up. but he always makes dirty jokes about Auntie Helen mistreating him or the divorce in general. Oh, god damn it! I really don't want to know bad shit at a good time like this, especially right now, not unless I have a bad or rough days in my life. But actually, Evelyn Mock is the Auntie Helen as confirmed in a podcast of Nigel NG and herself. They roast Uncle Roger so bad even his genitals were insulted upon, so there's the reason why they end up in a fucking divorce. Anyways, let's turn this bad moment upside the hell down. Now then, Uncle Roger's birthday is March 15th, 1991. He has a YouTube channel named Mr. Nigel NG with 4.66 million subscribers and over 361 million views. He joined in there back in November 6, 2012, but never uploaded shit until October 22, 2017 with his first video titled Set from 2017, Nigel NG, Stand-Up Comedy. Nigel NG, or Uncle Roger's most viewed video on this channel named Uncle Roger Disgusted by this egg fried rice video BBC Food. Why is his most viewed video, you might ask? It has over 26 million views, I can guarantee y'all peeps. And I gotta admit, this is one of the best reactions that Uncle Roger ever developed. I can't believe he actually reacted to this egg fried rice video. So what to say about it? Everything I say about Uncle Roger is right. He sure is a true inspiration of comedy, food critique, and sense of fucking humor. God, I'm gaining my interest towards this man. So in conclusion, nieces and nephews, go ahead and subscribe to Nigel NG aka Uncle Roger on any social media he has. Especially on YouTube, because he makes good and funny-ass reaction videos. I can't believe it's another one of those people who deserves a certified comedy gold award right there. Here are the images of the Benchwarmers movie while I tell you the plot. And one more thing, even though this movie has low scores on various movie critic websites, it don't matter to me because I enjoyed it nonetheless. Gus Matthews, Richie Goodman, and Clark Reedy are adult nerds who spent their childhoods longing to play baseball, but never got the chance. When a nerdy, an athletic boy named Nelson Carmichael and his friends are bullied and kicked off a baseball diamond by a local Little League team, Gus and Clark chase the bullies away. When Gus and Clark go with Richie to the field, the bullies return and demand that they leave. Gus challenges the bullies to play them for the field. They win the game due to Gus's surprising aptitude. A man named Brad, one of Clark and Richie's childhood bullies, challenges them to another game, but the three friends win again. Son of a fucking bitch, if those players want to talk shit, they might as well save it for the victory of this baseball game. Shit! Nelson's billionaire father Mel tells the trio about his plan to hold a round robin with all the Little League teams in the state, plus their team. The winners will be given access to a new multi-million-dollar baseball park. The three name themselves the Benchwarmers and joined the tournament. My god, will this be the beginning of their dreams coming true after their first try? The Benchwarmers win every single game, with Clark and Richie's abilities gradually improving, and the team becomes popular among many nerds, children with poor athletic abilities, and the general public. The Little League teams start meeting to think of plans to defeat the Benchwarmers. So, fuck! Yeah! Their dreams of becoming a team in baseball came true. We'll all be damned! At the semi-final game, the competing team's coach Wayne enters a 30-year-old Dominican professional baseball player named Carlos into the league, claiming him to be 12 years old. Unless Gus and his Benchwarmers team have the balls to defeat Carlos, they really know that they're far past fucked. Especially the baseball referee accepted Coach Wayne's fake-ass excuse with Carlos's lie and his fake-ass birth certificate. Gus, Richie, and Clark got an idea to win the semi-final game that easy. Yup, they're going to buy lots and lots of fucking beer and a bottle of tequila. That's a bad sign for Carlos, but a good one for the Benchwarmers. After drinking the most beers that Carlos had, including a bottle of tequila, his baseball skills are running down as low as it can go. The Benchwarmers won the semi-final game, and Carlos vomited on Coach Wayne for drinking too much beer. Definitely one of the reasons why I don't drink beer all the time. I do like to drink alcohol beverages, but I do that when I feel like the time is fucking right. After multiple unsuccessful attempts to derail the trio, the Benchwarmers' adversaries finally find a weakness that they can exploit. They find evidence that Gus was a bully himself as a child, known for using name-calling over physical force, and had bullied one boy named Marcus so intensely that he had to be sent to a mental institution. Wow! What a fucking hypocrite. Gus should have confessed if he ever did bully anyone before. Man, now their lucks have just ran out. Seizing this opportunity, the bully teams expose Gus's secret to the public, shaming Gus into resigning from the team. However, Gus sincerely apologizes to Marcus just before the final game, and in return, Marcus forgives Gus in front of everyone. At the beginning of the final game, Gus rejoins the team, announcing that Marcus is the Benchwarmers' new third base coach. Thank God that the drama between Marcus and Gus is officially over with their forgiveness. In the final game, Gus, Clark and Richie let a team consisting of Nelson and other non-athletic children play. To give them a chance to compete, the final is played against a team with their coach Jerry, who is the leader of all the bullies on the Little League teams and was Richie and Clark's childhood bully. In the final inning, the Benchwarmers are losing, but Jerry's team sees that the Benchwarmers are having fun playing the game anyway. Talk about playing fair and square on this motherfucker instead of being an abysmal winner, much like Monsieur Calvin Candy from Django Unchained. Seeing how heartless and uncaring Jerry is and realizing the true spirit of the game, they decide to let Nelson score a run, saying that Jerry is the loser. Ha! What a poor sport Jerry is. Anyways, the Benchwarmers stormed the field, celebrating the fact that they were not shut out. The entire Benchwarmers team, along with the kids from Jerry's team, Marcus, even Carlos and Wayne, celebrates at Pizza Hut. Richie and Clark get girlfriends, and Gus announces that he is going to become a father. Oh, and Richie's brother Howie isn't afraid of the sun no more. And do you know what going all the way is? Yup, that's the first expression of any person who hears it and didn't know that. Other than that, it was so fucking enjoyable, and it would kick my laughing ass every time I see it. So in conclusion, my fellow peeps, I recommend to pick up the Benchwarmers on any types of format that are available, especially for anyone who are huge ass fans of baseball. Yup, so let's wrap this motherfucker up for now.
Hey Mason, did you almost forget something?
Oh, shit! I almost forgot about the Christmas decorations.
Let's go put up the Christmas decorations since it's over.
Come, you know something funny?
What is it?
Christmas in July.
Mason, you are so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I sure am. After Mason and Cummy got rid of the Christmas decorations. Now that we put up the Christmas decorations, want to watch a movie?
I sure am in a good mood to watch a sport comedy film.
I can't believe that this kid got revenge on a bully by farting on his fucking face.
Cyberstrike 2 is a mech simulation game developed by Simulatronics and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment and 98 Studios, only for Microsoft Windows. Crash Fan 96 is a diehard fan of Crash Bandicoot and Banjo-Kazooie. He is a famous YouTuber with most of his angry German kid content inspired by various users. And Squid Game is a South Korean survival drama streaming television series created by Hwang Dong-hyuk for Netflix. And there's also a video game based on a horror show, but let's just focus on the show itself. But first, let's get into 3 segments in one video, starting with Cyberstrike 2. Alright, I'm going to read this from Stephen Poole via the GameSpot website from May 1st, 2000, if he wouldn't mind. Back in the days before anyone dreamed using the internet for multiplayer gaming, actually before anyone even heard of the internet, the only venue for computer gamers itching to find multiplayer action was online services like America Online, CompuServe, GNE, and Prodigy. As hard as it might be to believe now, the undisputed leader of the pack was Genie. More classics like Air Warrior, Gemstone 3, Island of Kazmai, and many others got their start and developed loyal fan bases. One of the hottest games on Genie was Cyber Strike, a futuristic combat game where opponents climbed into bipedal fighting machines called cyberpods and squared off for control of a city. The action was pretty intense, even by today's standards, but Genie's exorbitant rates meant you could rack up a pretty hefty bill just getting over the learning curve. That alone was enough to keep most gamers from getting into Cyber Strike, and the situation wasn't helped any by games plain Jane graphics, simple untextured polygons, and that didn't see any type of enhancement for good or 5 or 6 years or maybe more. Now Cyber Strike creator Simutronics has teamed up with 99 Studios to bring this multiplayer gem up to date with impressive 3D accelerated graphics and internet play. And the results are very impressive. In fact, I highly recommend it, but don't even think about buying this game at your local software store. Well, why the fuck not, Steven? It's really good. I don't know why would anyone think about it. So, luckily for Simutronics and 99 Studios, nearly all the control issues can be addressed in a newer version. That's part of the beauty of online games. As far as lag goes, the blame probably lies more with gamers' internet service providers rather than Simutronics. And when word gets out about how much fun Cyber Strike 2 can be, then there should be a nice, healthy community of friends and foes there. So, yeah, another strange design decision is the inability to fire 2 or more weapons at a time, even if one's an energy gun and the other's a projectile like tracking rocket has its own amount. Yeah, like grenades, rockets, and machine guns. Yeah. So anyways, the most players that people saw online was just under 100. And most of them were using the free shareware version that doesn't give you all the game's really cool features. So it's a fucking trial that they were playing. Oh well, moving on. Okay, CrashFan96 joined YouTube back in May 16th, 2013. And what do I gotta say? He has almost 12,000 subscribers and has over 7 million fucking views. His first video that he uploaded was the Angry German Kid Show, Episode 2. The Angry German Kid plays Super Mario XP. Wait a second. Wasn't it supposed to be the first episode of the Angry German Kid his first video uploaded on the channel, or was there a problem that he couldn't make it in Angry German Kid's first episode in his first video to show up? Either that, or was some sort of a redux. I don't know. It's none of my business. I never asked him shit like that. Whatever. Fuck you. He also made jump scare videos out of Arthur, Cat, etc. There's also green screen shit like King Kong. He also makes logo videos of his own username. Oh shit! Is that the Angry German Kid giving Morrigan an ass beating? Yeah, I see that. I seen that twice, but I never watched it as of yet. Well.
Oh, son of a bitch!
What?
What potential?
Well, fuck!
Yeah, well, in plotting on skits, Morrigan doesn't cry like a bitch. Anyway, CrashFan96's most viewed video is the Angry German Kid Show Episode 23, The Angry German Kid's Uncle, because it has reached over 265 views. Holy shit. And this was the first time shown back in January 18th, 2015. So what do I gotta say about this? CrashFan96 sure has talent on YouTube, inspired by various others, that is Michael's iCast, Angry German Kid 82, AGK, and Videomaker 2000, and so on. And especially Cyberpod Mark II himself. Yeah. Alright, my fellow peeps, now on to the next segment. Fucking Squid Game. Squid Game was released worldwide on September 17th, 2021, to critical acclaim and international attention. As of November 2021, It is Netflix's most watched series, becoming the top viewed program in 94 countries and attracting more than 142 million member households and amassing 1.65 billion viewing hours during its first 4 weeks from launch, surpassing Bridgerton for the title of most watched show. Seong Gi-hoon, a divorced father and in-depth gambler who lives with his elderly mother, is invited to play a series of children's games for a chance at a large cash prize. Accepting the offer, he is taken to an unknown location where he finds himself among 456 players who are all deeply in debt. The players are made to wear green tracksuits and are kept under watch at all times by masked guards in pink jumpsuits, with the games overseen by the front man, who wears a black mask and a black uniform. The players soon discover that losing a game results in their death, which each death adding 1 million yen? 1 million yen? 1 million yen to the potential 45.6 billion yen grand prize. Gi-hoon allies with other players, including his childhood friend Cho Sang-woo, to try to survive the physical and psychological twists of the games. Even though I haven't seen them in person, I would like to have a chance to see all 9 episodes of the show. Man, it sure is intense to see which one will survive and which one will die. Yeah, starting with that cute doll, but disguised as a creepy one. Like if that doll turns her head around to see players still moving when it's red. Yep, they're splattering to blood. Oh my shit. Well, I'm not gonna spoil nothing else. Don't want to give out spoilers. So in conclusion, Cyber Strike 2 may not be that popular. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was. But whatever, fuck you. I recommend playing this game when you have the chance. Also subscribe to CrashFan96, formerly known as Atarster, to see his good shit on YouTube. Oh hell fucking shit yeah. I also recommend Squid Game. This horror series will be 100,000 times intense than Baldi's Basics. I wonder who has the balls to survive the Squid Game. Yeah. Blade is a 1998 American superhero horror film directed by Stephen Norrington, based on the Marvel Comics superhero of the same name. It is the first installment of the Blade franchise, and it's also the first Marvel film that I've ever watched that is fucking R-rated. And holy shit, I fucking love that film. The film stars Wesley Snipes as the titular character, with Stephen Dorff, Chris Christopherson, and Bushwright in supporting roles. In the film, Blade is a Damphir, a human with vampire strengths but not their weaknesses, who together with his mentor Abraham Whistler and hematologist Karen Jensen fights against vampires, namely an exceptionally vicious Deacon Frost. Well, let's get into this badass superhero film I've ever seen. Alright, my fellow peeps. In 1967, a pregnant woman is attacked by a vampire, causing her to go into premature labor. Doctors are also to save her infant child, but she dies of an unknown infection. 30 years later, the child has become a vampire hunter, who is a fucking man. That is Blade, who is a human-vampire hybrid that possesses the supernatural abilities of the vampires without any of their weaknesses, except for the requirement to consume human blood. Yeah, speaking of hybrid shit, yeah, I know that there is a woman who is a hybrid of a human and a fucking succubus. Oh yeah, it's fucking Morrigan. Alright. But let's not talk about Mega Man or the rest of Dark Stock and shit. It's about Blade. Okay, Blade raids a Los Angeles rave club owned by the vampire Deacon Frost. Police take one of the vampires to the hospital where he kills Dr. Curtis Webb and feeds on hematologist Karen Jensen and escapes. Blade takes Karen to a safe house where she is treated by his old friend Abraham Whistler. You about to save that? You about to save her, boy? Ah, fucking Zed. Yeah, you better bring out the fucking gimp while you're ahead, Zed. Maynard. Okay, Whistler explains that he and Blade have been waging a secret war against vampires using weapons based on elemental weaknesses, such as sunlight, silver, and garlic. Karen is now marked by the bite of a vampire. Both he and Blade tell her to leave the city. Meanwhile, at a meeting of the Council of Pure Blood Vampire Elders, Deacon Frost, the leader of the faction of younger vampires, is rebuked for trying to incite war between vampires and humans. As Deacon and his kind are not natural-born vampires, they are considered socially inferior. In response, Deacon has one of the elders executed and strips the others of their authority. Oh yeah, and there's also another human-vampire hybrid from fucking Capcom, that is Dimitri. Yeah, that guy is crazy, and I don't know what to say. Okay, let's get back with the fucking Blade. Returning to her apartment, Karen is attacked by police officer Krieger, who is a familiar of a human loyal to vampires. Blade subdues Krieger and uses information from him to locate an archive that contains pages from the Vampire Bible. He comes upon Pearl, a morbidly obese vampire, and tortures him with a UV light into revealing that Deacon wants to command a ritual where he would use 12 pure blood vampires awaken the blood god La Magra, and Blade's blood is the key. Later at the hideout, Blade injects himself with the special semen. I'm sorry, I'm fucking sorry. Later at the hideout, Blade injects himself with a special serum that suppresses his urge to drink blood. However, the serum is beginning to lose its effectiveness due to overuse. Krieger informs Deacon of what happened, and Deacon kills Krieger. Aw, shit! Yeah, that's what Krieger gets for fucking backstabbing, if this fucking happens. While experimenting with the anticoagulant EDTA as a possible replacement, Karen discovers that it explodes when combined with vampire blood. She manages to synthesize a vaccine that can cure the infected, but learns that it will not work on Blade. Karen is confident that she could cure Blade's bloodthirst, but it would take her years of treating it. Deacon and his men attack the hideout, infect fucking Abraham Whistler, and abduct Karen. When Blade returns, he helps Abraham commit suicide. Oh shit. Oh come on, suicide's not the fucking answer. Why the hell does it have to do anything with it? Okay, when Blade attempts to rescue Karen from Deacon's penthouse, he is shocked to find his still alive mother, who reveals that she came back the night she was attacked and was brought in by Deacon, who appears and reveals himself as the vampire who bit her. Blade is then subdued and taken to the Temple of Eternal Night, where Frost plans to perform the summoning ritual for La Magra. Karen is thrown into a pit to be devoured by Webb, who has transformed into a decomposing zombie-like creature. Karen injures Webb and escapes.
You can't escape.
Yeah, you can't escape. Well, fuck you, Morrigan. The hell she can't.
Ah! Is that all you got?
Blade is drained from his blood, but Karen allows him to drink from her, enabling him to recover. Frost completes the ritual and obtains the powers of La Magra. Blade confronts Deacon after killing all of his minions, including his mom. During their fight, Blade injects Deacon with all the syringes. The overdose of the EDTA causes his body to inflate and exploding, killing him. Karen offers to help Blade cure himself. Instead, he asks her to create an improved version of the serum so he can continue his crusade against vampires. In the brief epilogue, Blade confronts a vampire in fucking Moscow, Russia. So in conclusion, I recommend this 1998 film, and I don't give a shit if Rotten Tomatoes or various movie websites for movie critics that gave it a mediocre or low scores. I still find it an enjoyable film nonetheless. And speaking of R-rated movies by Marvel, the Punisher 2004 film was meant to be the first R-rated Marvel movie that I've ever watched since I'm into the Punisher and other shit. But whatever, it's really good, and Wesley Snipes and the rest of the Blade crew have done a good job in acting and other developments of this film. Yeah, it was a dark superhero film for its time. The success of Blade began Marvel's film success and set for stage for further comic book film adaptations. And yeah, I noticed that there are video games. Yeah, both of the video games on the PlayStations 1 and 2, Game Boy Color, and the fucking Xbox. Well, that's all I gotta say. If you don't like Blade or any of the Marvel Knights films, alright, that's alright with me. Because I do love Blade and the Punisher. Yeah. Cruis'n World is the 1996 sequel to the 1994 arcade racer Cruis'n USA. Cruis'n World allows players to race on various tracks around the world. The game also features more cars than Cruis'n USA. This game introduced stunts to the Cruis'n series. So anyway, my fellow peeps, I just want to say this is the best arcade racing game I have ever played. And I haven't played Cruis'n World for a very long time. The arcade version of it. Anyway, my fellow peeps, let's get into this another masterpiece. Okay, so they serve to dodge obstacles, take close curves, and so if the stunt makes the vehicle fly in the air, the game gives the player extra seconds of time. In other words, you'll have a few seconds deducted from your time lapse. The game also uses small rocket boost to speed up. Well, I'll be fucking goddamned. The game was later released on the Nintendo 64 in 1998, being the best received of the Cruis'n ports. Okay, so here's the gameplay of it. Cruis'n World features the same core gameplay as its predecessor, in that player races on different tracks under a time limit to reach the goal, passing checkpoints along the way to help extend this time limit. The races take place in the different countries around the world, such as Hawaii, Japan, Australia, China, Kenya, Africa, Egypt, Moscow, Russia, Germany, Italy, France, England, Mexico, New York City, and Florida. The cars now have the ability to perform stunts during races such as wheelies and fucking flips, front flips or back flips. I don't know if back flips are impossible. Oh yeah, and also spinning the cars, which gives short speed bursts, and aerial flips, which deduct seconds from the final race time, allowing for the player to achieve a better position in records table. Should the player win all stages including Florida, the car would be taken by a space shuttle for the trip to the moon. And speaking for the fucking moon, the Nintendo 64 version adds an extra track on the moon. Yeah, talking about a Nintendo 64 exclusive to this game. Yeah, the moon is unlockable once the player reaches the end of the Cruis'n World mode, and also features an exclusive championship mode, in which players race on circuit tracks set in the game's different stages rather than the arcade's road tracks, competing for points which allow the player to unlock upgrades for the cars. Yeah, it's gonna take it takes about a few hours, like 7 or 10 hours to have one of your cars upgraded. Yeah, upgraded to, the Speed Demon. Yeah, it takes a few hours to unlock the Speed Demon. Yeah, one of the fastest cars that goes up to over 230 miles per hour. So the developers of this game sent artists on the round-the-world trip to digitally capture sites and major tourist attractions. The development of the Nintendo 64 version started in 1996 after the development of the Nintendo 64 version of Cruis'n USA. Eugene Jarvis had admitted that the Cruis'n USA port was not good. Oh, well, what are you saying, Eugene Jarvis? That it's not that bad, in my opinion. It's just as good as it gets. So they promised the game to be an arcade-perfect port. Yodercom took the Cruis'n license and decided to spend more time on the game than in Cruis'n USA. In early 1997, Nintendo announced that Cruis'n World would be coming onto the Nintendo 64 in the fall, but the game was silently delayed until 1998. Yeah, the year that I was born. And 2 months after I was born. Yeah, it's September 28th, 1998. Okay, what else to say about it? So the reception... Oh, yeah, let's save the reception later on. So anyways, yeah, Eugene Jarvis and the rest of the Cruis'n staff did a very excellent job, or rather a perfect job developing this sequel. Yeah, Zion Cooper and Ted Barber did excellent at creating good old shit, and some kick-ass music are included, such as the Grunge Factor and Cruis'n Shuffle. Yeah, and some of the tracks that that I don't like, but still like it, such as the ones the Shifter from. Wait a minute, yeah, Shifter is like an industrial rock. Yeah, there's also some songs exclusively for the Nintendo 64. That is the fucking ones from Kenya, Shifter from that Germany track, and also England, called The Chase. Oh, whatever, it's perfect. So, both of the modes, yeah, arcade and Nintendo 64 version goes up to 4 players simultaneously. The arcade system was Midway V unit. Yeah, double the fun. Yeah, double the player shit and double the fun. 4 players have to have a rumble pack ready if you want to save a game for something good. Yeah, you cannot resist this shit. So, what I gotta say, the graphics of the arcade version looks very excellent, exquisite, and realistic as it gets, just like the Cruis'n USA track. And for the Nintendo 64 version, yeah, I still like it. It's really solid and excellent, and it seems real. Both of the versions are very real, and they look excellent. That's what we're talking about, man. Oh yeah, and don't forget about the music. Yeah, I mentioned that, but here's a sample. Yeah, the Nintendo 64 got lucky with the music soundtrack that sounded just similar as the same as the fucking arcade. Look at those car designs. Oh man, the car designs. Aren't they peculiar and excellent, realistic? Yeah, they sure do. Yeah. Can't wipe this shit out of my eyes. Oh yeah, and there's also yeah, in the Nintendo 64 version, there's also an option where you can enable or disable the trophy girl option. And what else to know about that? Oh yeah, there's some short ending cutscenes if you're done with the championship modes, such as the ones from England, China, and... let me guess. Okay, China, Germany. Yeah, Germany. Yeah, the ones that had anything to do with the mini cutscenes will have lift off. So... yeah, it's really a continuation of a good start. And holy shit. Yeah, there's an ATV in this game. Yeah, the ATV is one of the badass army vehicles I've ever seen. Yeah, the Speed Demon is one of the fastest cars. And I consider the Speed Demon one of my most favorite cars in the Cruis'n USA game and throughout the rest of the Cruis'n series. Yeah, just like I like that Italia P69 car, red car from Cruis'n USA. And the ATV is my second most favorite vehicle. So the bottom line is, this game rocks, and no one can resist its temptation. So in conclusion, my fellow peeps, I brutally recommend Cruis'n World on any versions. Either the arcade or the Nintendo 64. Yeah, both versions are fucking excellent. The music is excellent. The graphics are excellent. Oh yeah, the controllers are just as good as it can be in the Cruis'n series. Everything about this game is fucking excellent, man. I cannot live without it. Even though I don't have a Nintendo 64, but it don't matter to me because this game kicked so much ass, just as Cruis'n USA kicked so much ass. Hell yeah. Forza is a series of simulation racing games for various Xbox consoles, Microsoft Windows, iOS, and Android devices published by Xbox Game Studios. The series seeks to emulate the performance handling characteristics of many real-life production and modified and racing cars. Even though I never played one of these games, but I am automatically noticed that it's much like Gran Turismo and it's a very good franchise, and yeah, it sure is a good old kick-ass racing simulation game. Anyways, my fellow peeps, let's get into this motherfucker. The franchise is primarily divided into two ongoing titles. The original Forza Motorsport series, developed by American developer Turn 10 Studios, which focus on primarily professional style track racing events and series around a variety of both real and fictional tracks. And the Forza Horizon series, developed by British developer Playground Games, which revolves around a fictional racing and music festival called the Horizon Festival, and features open-world environments set in fictional representations of the real-world areas in which players may freely roam and participate in racing events. Until 2019, in each installment of the franchise series have alternated a biennial basis. The Motorsport entries were released in odd-numbered years, while the Horizon entries were released in even-numbered years. This pattern was altered due to the absence of new motorsport game in 2019. The first Forza game is Forza Motorsport on the original Xbox, which was released back in May 3rd, 2005 in the United States. This game was also released in Europe 10 days later. In every Forza Motorsport and Horizon game, the players compete in events around the globe using real licensed cars on a variety of real-world and fictional courses. It features an arcade mode meant more for quick play of races, and a career mode, which is focused on a long-term play. Career mode spans several racing disciplines, spanning from racing of common commuter cars and those in racing series such as Super GT and Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters, as well as other sports car racing series. Well, shit. Yeah, it's much... Well, what do I say? It's much like Gran Turismo, and it's good. It does not count as a fucking ripoff. It's like an inspiration. Okay, so anyways, to help players accumulate to the simulation style of racing, assists such as an ideal racing like anti-lock brakes and traction control can be used. Well, try not to get too cocky around that shit. And there's a spin-off out of the franchise that is Forza Street. It is a free-to-play racing game developed by Electric Square that was initially released for Windows 10 as Miami Street on May 8th, 2018. The game was rebranded as Forza titled on April 15, 2019. It was also released for iOS and Android on May 5th, 2020. Oh yeah, there's some fucking rumors in there. A Nintendo Switch version of the game has also been rumored to be in development. What? What? The Nintendo has something to do with Forza? Whatever. Okay, every Forza has been released more cars. More cars come into the franchise, so there's more tracks and more practices. And some more shit hit the fan, and then fucking some. Special containing even more shit if you choose one of the DLC options of any game you purchase. Damn fucking microtransactions. Too expensive to get a full release game right up the alley. More like right up the ass, is it not? Okay, well, let's see what do I gotta say about this. So, also like every Forza Motorsport and Horizon games, vehicles can be customized by the player, both visually and performance-wise. In addition to adding body parts such as hood scoops and body kits, players can add multiple layers of decals to the vehicles. Upgrades are separated into 3 categories: engine/power, appearance/aerodynamics, and chassis/drivetrain. There is a wide range of tuning available, including tire pressure, which changes during races due to temperature, downforce, gear ratios, and limited slip differential or difference or whatever it is. Whatever. Vehicles can be realistically damaged from both a cosmetic and a performance standpoint. This changes the way the game is played, as collisions with barriers and other cars will alter the car's handling, top speed, and acceleration. More noticeably, spoilers can be knocked off cars, bumpers dangle from their supports, paint can be scrapped off, and windows can be smashed completely. Holy shit. Wait a minute, don't we have the windows smashing in any of the Gran Turismo games? And besides that, why does the windows have to be smashed? Is this supposed to be Forza Motorsport or Destruction Derby? Or Twisted Metal, or whatever it is. Whatever. Anyways, the game contains a mix of licensed street point-to-point and original circuits. Real-world tracks, Road Atlanta, Silverstone, Laguna Seca, Tsukuba, Road America, and Nürburgring Nordschleife were licensed and included. Furthermore, the game's Blue Mountains Raceway circuit is heavily comparable in track layout, characteristics, and backgrounds with the Mount Panorama circuit in Bathurst. In addition to these, Forza also contains a variety of autocross, oval, and drag strip courses. Each of these can be played online through the original Xbox Live. If you have Forza Motorsport, if you were still back in 2005, you would have enjoyed it. But sadly, in April 15, 2010, the fucking network multiplayer is no longer in service for the original Xbox. Well, you can try that in Xbox 360 or Xbox One. Yeah, playing it online on the original Xbox Live service or through the system link. I don't know if they would allow system links on the Xbox 360. So anyways, the good thing about this that the first Forza Motorsport game is backwards compatible for the Xbox 360. So anyways, man, the racing simulation concept for the original Xbox has worked out real good for the past over 16 years. Yeah, even the video game critic websites and gamers even claim that this game proved justice of their gaming and racing simulation culture since Gran Turismo. Great to know. So in conclusion, I recommend Forza Motorsport and Horizon on any Xbox systems. There's nothing bad about the franchise at all, and I think it's not just about gaming. It's about how you drive well, and if it has anything to do with magnificent driving skills. Yeah. Pro Pinball is a pinball video game series developed by Cunning Developments and published by Empire Interactive. And it's also published by Interplay in the United States. And The Bernie Mac Show is an American sitcom television series created by Larry Wilmore that aired on Fox for 5 seasons. I could say that these two medias are the ones that I would tolerate for the taste of video gaming and comedy enjoyability. Alright, my fellow peeps, without further ado to ass shit, let's get on to them. Starting with Pro Pinball. The first video game has started with the very first one, that is the Web, released back in July 1996 on the original PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and the PC. But sadly, Pro Pinball the Web is the only game that is the Web on the fucking Sega Saturn. Okay, so anyways, all 4 Pro Pinball games are pinball simulations in which players operate a virtual pinball table. Players can score extra points by making combos, i.e. performing a move twice in a row. Hitting targets at the far end of the table activates the game's missions, in which the player must hit lighted ramps or bumpers to score bonus points. Completing the mission results in a huge point bonus. Yeah, I try to do such thing like that, but mostly I find it difficult to do that myself without using the fucking cheat code or whatever it is, or Game Shark. Man, I really need to get myself some Game Shark. Okay, the controls are comfortable, the graphics are realistic as hell, the music soundtrack kicked my ass real good, and I even have compilation games released, that is let's see what they have in there. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that they do have compilation games in there, like Pro Pinball Trilogy, released on the Sega Dreamcast in Europe in 2001, and in 2006 it was ported over to the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC under the title Ultimate Pro Pinball. But sadly, these 2 compilation games were never released in the US, except for the PC version. So, yeah. Hell, I even got the very first Pro Pinball game for the original PlayStation, so I have 3 more to collect. If any one of those games have low score ratings, I wouldn't give a shit. It's a lot of fucking fun and definitely worth its price. As for the engine running, the whole works. In some ways, it's utterly amazing, and in others, it needs more work. Okay. The Bernie Mac Show was loosely based on Bernie's stand-up comedy acts. In real life, Bernie Mac McCulloch was married with 1 daughter. Bernie's character on a show with a stand-up comedian was married with no children of his own. The pilot episode aired on November 14th, 2001. Set up the basic premise, or whatever you fucking say, for the series. The character Bernie Mac takes in his sister's children after she enters rehab, a fictional premise taken from one of Bernie's stand-up routines, which was eventually featured in the 2000 film, The Original Kings of Comedy. Okay, in reality, the story is blended with 2 real incidents. Bernie briefly took his niece, Toya, who was an at-risk youth, and her daughter, Monique, while a friend of his had to raise her sister's children long-term. Much of the humor in the show was derived from Bernie's continual adjustment to and his unique take on parenthood. A frequent motive of the show was the juxtaposition of Bernie's acerbic comments, such as his threats to bust the children's head until the white meat shows, and the deep parental affection he felt towards the trio, which often brought him to the verge of tears during happy moments. Towards by the end of the series, Brianna's long-lost father returns and drops by from time to time to help Bernie and Wanda with the kids. Most of his emotional scenes occurred in segments in which Bernie, while still in character, broke the fourth wall and talked to the television audience, which he referred to as America. This technique was most notably used before an episode during the 2005 through 2006 season, when Bernie, as himself wearing a Chicago White Sox cap and jacket, delivered a heartfelt congratulatory message to the baseball organization and its staff on their recent World Series championship. Okay, Bernie, who grew up on Chicago's South Side, was a die-hard fan of the White Sox and was seen at the Game 1 of the World Series in a front row seat, as was also the case during his stand-up routine. Bernie habitually addressed the audience as America for humorous effect. Bernie's character's celebrity worked as a pilot device, allowing other celebrities to appear on the show as themselves. Yeah, especially Ice Cube, Triple H, and so on. Fuck, Hugh Hefner? Damn. Okay, even though I haven't watched the Bernie Mac show that much before, but it's funny and inspiring. Hell, I would even I would watch all the episodes of the Bernie Mac show from start to finish, but the sad part is, the season 1 of the Bernie Mac show was only released on DVD while the rest of them were not. What the fuck, Fox? I really wish the complete series was released by now. Yeah, I wish it was that. But correct me if you do find it on eBay or any stores that you would consider yourself lucky if you like that show. So, if it got canceled, yeah, I don't give a fuck if it's got canceled. I sure love to watch them. So, in conclusion, I recommend Pro Pinball and the Bernie Mac show. Yeah, it's a shame that these two series didn't last long, and it's also a shame that we lost Bernie Mac a long time ago. But anyways, it's always a great time to enjoy both memories that I mentioned. Yeah, you sure love this, memorize something that you enjoyed the first time, right? The last installment of this week's Salute House is now here, but the series, the second season of the series is not yet done. So we got two segments that we will tolerate and enjoy. Segment 1, the Fast and the Furious franchise. It's one of them franchises that are so memorable, and that's way too good to miss. Even though I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, except for the recent one, which is the Fast and Furious 9. And segment number 2, Slayer. It's one of the most memorable thrash metal bands ever in any history of subgenre rock and metal. So, hell yeah. Let's dive into those two fucking masterpieces of discovery. Alright, starting with the segment, The Fat and the Furious. The fuck? The Fat and the Furious. Oh, sorry about that. I meant to say The Fast and Furious. Yeah, it's all because I've been thinking about The Simpsons Hit and Run. Yeah, the last mission for the first levels featuring Homer Simpson. Or should I say Homo Simpson? Okay, that's my cue to stop rubbing this shit in. Okay, let's get on with the first segment, the Fast and the Furious franchise. Okay, the Fast and Furious, also aka the Fast and the Furious, and the Fast Saga, is a media franchise centered in a series of action films that are largely concerned with illegal street racing, heists, spies, and family. The franchise also includes short films, television series, live shows, video games, and theme park attractions. It is distributed by Universal Pictures. Yeah, video games. Yeah, especially the arcade style of a racing game. Even though we don't have any of the Fast and Furious arcade racing games, except for the Wii under the name Cruis'n by Midway Home Entertainment. But yeah, there are Fast and Furious shit on consoles. Alright, let's move on. The first film was released in June 22nd, 2001, 1 month before my 3rd birthday, which began the original tetralogy of films focused on illegal street racing and culminated in the film Fast and Furious 2009. The series transitioned towards heist and spying with Fast 5, and was followed by 4 sequels, with the most recent F9 released in 2021. F9 is the movie that I watched with my sister last year. Yeah, she was planning to watch it. A 10th and 11th film are planned to conclude the series, and the main films are collectively known as the Fast Saga. They're spawned with merchandises, spin-offs. Yeah, they do have merchandises and television series on Netflix. So even though some movies have negative reviews by Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't give a fucking shit. If I have a box set series on DVD, I would start the marathon of feeling suspenseful and see how good and bad it's gonna be. So, guess we'll just wrap this segment up, since I don't know much about it, but I gotta know the franchise of the Fast and the Furious. Alright, segment number 2 is Slayer. Slayer was an American thrash metal band from Huntington Park, California. The band was formed in 1981 by the bass player and a vocalist, Tom Araya, guitarists Jeff Heineman, rest in peace, and Kerry King, and a drummer, Dave Lombardo. In the original lineup, Tom, Jeff, and Kerry contributed to the band's lyrics, and all the band's music was written by Jeff and Kerry. The band's lyrics and album art, which cover topics such as murder, serial killers, torture, genocide, politics, theories, human subject research, organized crime, secret societies, mythology, occultism, Satanism, anti-Christianity, but not too much as deep as deicide, hate crimes, terrorism, religion or anti-religion, Nazism, fascism, racism, xenophobia, misanthropy, war and prison, have generated albums, bans, delays, lawsuits, and criticism from religious groups and factions of the general public. However, its music has been highly influential, often being cited by many bands as influenced musically, visually, and lyrically. The band's 3rd album, Rain and Blood, my most favorite album from this band, has been described as one of the heaviest and most influential thrash metal albums. Yeah, if it was ever reached at number 1 in the Billboard 200 in 1986, it would be that much of a thrash metal blessing. So yeah, they've released 12 studio albums, 2 live albums, a box set, 6 music videos, 2 extended plays, and a cover album. Yeah, that is undisputed attitude. 4 of the band's studio albums have received gold certification in the US of A. Slayer sold 5 million copies in the United States from 1991 through 2013, according to Nielsen SoundScan, and over 20 million worldwide. The band has received 5 Grammy Award nominations, winning one of them in 2007 for the song Eyes of the Insane, and one of them from 2008 for the song Final Six, both which were from the album Christ Illusion. After more than 3 decades of recording and performing, Slayer announced in January 2018 that it would embark on a farewell tour, which took place from May 18th through November 2019, after which the band disbanded. Yeah, it's really sad to see Slayer go. What can I say is that I have started listening to Slayer in the middle of summer 2013. Nothing gets better than this shit after the first time I've listened to it. Yeah, after that, I've listened to more Slayer tracks from their albums such as Show No Mercy, Hell Awaits, Rain the Blood, Divine Intervention, and so on. Yeah, especially their final album, Repentless. I even listened to the entire soundtrack to the Apocalypse box set. Motherfucker, I want to get that ammo box set. Yeah, I still accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, even though I have no religion. So in conclusion, I recommend the Fast and the Furious and Slayer. The Fast and the Furious franchise has such badass street racing scenes, crazy heists, and other moments that are shockingly good and too good to miss. And as for Slayer, I wish that band would last forever since it was no more since 2019. And I'm ashamed that Jeff Heineman died 9 years ago. But those franchises will never be forgotten. It will always live on, especially when the end of time comes. Alright, my fellow peeps, we're almost through with the Salute House journey, with only 2 episodes left. The other one is for next week, and the first one, or the semi-final one, is that I'm showing you right now. Alright. And also, we have 2 more Triple Salute House installments left. The first one that I'm showing you right now, and the other for next week. Yeah, next week's Triple House Salute installment will be about the first 3 films that are written and directed by Quentin fucking Tarantino. And so, 3 segments that we will salute on right now is segment number 1, Nintendo Switch requested by Andrew Greiner. Segment number 2, The Blues Brothers 1980 film. And segment number 3, The Destruction Derby franchise by Psygnosis and Reflections Interactive that has been existed since 1995. So, without further ado to ass shit, let's get on with these 3 things that we cannot live without. Even the ones that I never had in my life. Alright, the Nintendo Switch is a video game console / a portable console hybrid developed by Nintendo and released worldwide in most regions on March 3rd, 2017. The console itself is a tablet that can either be docked for use as home console or used as a portable device, making it a hybrid console. Yeah, it is a hybrid one. I did say that before. It's wireless Joy-Con controllers with standard buttons and directional analog sticks for user input, motion sensing, and tactical feedback. It can attach to both sides of the console to support handheld style play. They can also connect to a grip accessory to provide a traditional home console gamepad form. Yeah, the gamepad. Yeah, the Nintendo Switch has a controller gamepad that is an exact replica of a fucking dog. Yeah, how clever. Or be used individually in the hand like the Wii, remote, and nunchuck, supporting local multiplayer modes. The Nintendo Switch's software supports online gaming through the internet connectivity, as well as local wireless and ad hoc connectivity with other consoles. Nintendo Switch games and software are available in both physical flash-based ROM cartridges and digital distribution via Nintendo eShop. The system has no region lockout. Well, no region lockout? Well, thank God to have something that's region-free. Because region lockouts are bullshit. A handheld-focused revision of the system called the Nintendo Switch Lite was released in September 20th, 2019. A revised higher-end version of the original system featuring an OLED screen was released in October 8th of last year. So what do we gotta say about the Nintendo Switch? Well, I first time hated the Nintendo Switch, but as of right now and 2 years ago, either 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, yeah, I've started to gain interest towards the Nintendo Switch. All because that they have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. As an 8th generation console, the Nintendo Switch competes with Microsoft's Xbox One and Sony's PlayStation 4. Nearly 3 million console units were shipped in its first month, exceeding Nintendo's initial projection of 2 million, and within a year of release achieved over 14 million units sold worldwide, outselling total lifetime sales by the Wii U. So yeah, both versions of the Nintendo Switch have sold nearly 104 million units worldwide, making it Nintendo's best-selling home console and the 5th best-selling game console of all time. Man, they sure had good library games. Yeah, especially the remastered ones, like Grand Theft Auto, for example. Wait a minute. Isn't that the Grand Theft Auto remastered for the Nintendo Switch a fucking failure or some shit? I hope Rockstar Games better fix this up. Alright. Don't want to spoil nothing else. Okay. The Blues Brothers is a 1980 American musical comedy film directed by John Landis. It stars John Belushi, rest in peace, as Joliet, Jake Blues, and Dan Aykroyd as his brother Elwood. Characters developed from recreating musical sketch The Blues Brothers on NBC variety series of Saturday Night Live. Okay, so the plot is blues vocalist and petty criminal Jake Blues is released from prison after serving 30 years and is picked up by his blood brother Elwood and his Bluesmobile, a battered former police car. Elwood demonstrates its capabilities by jumping an open drawbridge. The bros visited the Roman Catholic orphanage where they were raised and learned from Sister Mary's stigmata that it will be closed unless $5,000 in property taxes is collected. During a sermon by Reverend Cleophas James at the Triple Rock Baptist Church, Jake has an epiphany. They can re-inform their band, the Blues Brothers, which disbanded while Jake was in prison, and raise money to save the orphanage. Well, we gotta believe in God. Well, we gotta go to church. Yeah, Elwood is correct about that shit, Jake. Yeah, don't doubt God for shit like that. Okay, realizing that they need one big show to raise the necessary money, the brothers persuade the good old agent Book at the Palace Hotel ballroom north of Chicago. They mount a loudspeaker atop the Bluesmobile and drive around the Chicago area promoting the concert and alerting the police, the neo-Nazis, and the good old boys of their whereabouts. The ballroom is packed with blues fans, police officers, and the good old boys. Jake and Elwood perform 2 songs and then sneak off stage as the tax deadline is rapidly approaching. A record company executive offers them a $10,000 cash advance on a recording contract, more than enough to pay off the orphanage, taxes, and raise IOU, and then shows the brothers how to slip out of the building unnoticed. Jake and Elwood race back towards Chicago with dozens of state and local police and the good old boys in pursuit. They eventually elude them all with a series of improbable maneuvers, including a miraculous gravity-defying escape from those stupid fucking goddamn neo-Nazis. And after that, the Blues Brothers have paid the taxes, and after that they're in prison and with the band playing Jailhouse Rock, originally performed by Elvis, for the inmates. Alright, the Destruction Derby is a vehicular combat racing game inspired by Twisted Metal. And it was published by Psygnosis and developed by Reflections Interactive, based on the sport of Demolition Derby. Yeah, not as violent as Twisted Metal. The game tasks the player with racing and destroying cars to score points. The developers have implemented simulated physics to make the results of collisions easier to predict, and they kept the game's track small to increase the number of wrecks. So yeah, there's also a sequel, the Nintendo 64 version, and a prequel. And there's also a T-rated Destruction Derby game for the PS2. So yeah, like every Destruction Derby game, yeah, this game contains 3 vehicles, collisions, and the game affect the controls of each car, limiting their steering and maximum speed. Frontal collisions risk damage to the car's radiator, which causes the car to overheat and stop running. 4 game modes are available: Destruction Derby, Wreck-It Racing, Stock Car Racing, and Time Trial. So yeah, in Destruction Derby, the player earns points by destroying other cars in a large, trackless arena called the Bowl. In Stock Car Racing, the player must finish in first place, and no points are awarded for destroying cars. Wreck-It Racing is a hybrid of the two, which is my fucking favorite, in which the player earns points both by winning the race and by destroying other cars. The time trial is a solo time attack mode. The PlayStation version features System Link play for 2 players, while the MS-DOS version has an online multiplayer mode. Destruction Derby 64, the game's Nintendo 64 version, features an updated graphics and increased number of cars and tracks, and it adds new modes such as Capture the Flag. The game contains 24 cars and more than 12 courses. It also supports split-screen multiplayer for up to 4 players. Well, holy hot damn. So, yeah, and the Destruction Derby 2 supports Namco's Neg-Con controller. Well, holy goddamn. Well, what do I gotta say about that? Oh yeah, the fucking soundtrack of the Destruction Derby game is really pumping my ass up. I like to enjoy the beat. And as for the Destruction Derby 2 game, yeah, it's fucking badass. It's really rocking my ass off. Yeah, getting ready for some heavy metal during the second sequel. Alright, as for Destruction Derby Raw, yeah, it's like the same thing. It's like the same concept as the other 2. Even though I don't have the Destruction Derby game, the third one, but I sure like to see it. So anyways, I gotta say, all these 4 Destruction Derby games really kicked my ass and I really liked it. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So in conclusion, my fellow peeps, I brutally recommend the Nintendo Switch. I also recommend the Blues Brothers 1980 film on DVD and Blu-ray, and the Destruction Derby. Yeah, all 3 of the Destruction Derby games, especially the 4th one on the PlayStation 2. So, speaking of which, I hope these 3, or rather 4 of the Destruction Derby installments would be remastered and released on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStations 4 and 5, and then Xbox Series X. So, yeah, as for me, even though I don't have the Nintendo Switch before, but I'm either debating myself if I wanted the Nintendo Switch or the GameCube. Because, honestly, I really want to go back to playing some Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, and stay tuned for the final Triple Salute House segment, where I salute on 3 films that are written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Alright, my fellow peeps, we have made it to the final episode of this season. And for this final Triple Salute House installment for this season, we're going to salute the first 3 films written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Segment number 1, Reservoir Dogs. Segment number 2, Pulp Fiction. And segment number 3, Jackie Brown. Yeah, Pulp Fiction especially, because Pulp Fiction is one of my most favorite R-rated films of all time. So without further ado to ass shit, let's get into these masterpieces of discovery. Yes, 3 of the films are written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. So I'm just going to read the plot. Yeah, no spoilers. Not much spoilers, though. Okay. 8 men ate breakfast at a Los Angeles diner, except for leader Joe Cabot and his son, Nice Guy Eddie. All the other men use aliases: brown, white, blonde, blue, orange, and pink. Yeah, you want to know why Mr. Steve Buscemi's character is Mr. Pink? Because his character's a faggot, alright. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Brown it just sounds like Mr. Shit. And Mr. Pink sounds like Mr. Pussy. Yeah, thank God that no one's Mr. Yellow. Because everyone who works outside of this fucking heist is Mr. Piple. Let's go to work. Alright. After they leave the diner, they execute to a diamond heist. After the heist, White flees with Orange, who was shot in the stomach by an armed woman while hijacking her car and is bleeding severely. At one of Joe's warehouses, White and Orange rendezvous with Pink, who believes that the job was a setup, and that the police were waiting for them. Sometime earlier, Blonde meets with the K-Bots. Having completed a 4-year jail sentence to reward him for concealing Joe's name from the authorities, they offered him a no-show job. Blonde insists on returning to real work, and they hire him for a heist. In the present, while White and Pink beat Marvin Nash for information, Eddie arrives and orders them to retrieve the stashed diamonds and ditch the getaway vehicles, leaving Blonde to handle Nash and Orange. Wallace dancing to Steeler's Wheel Stuck in the Middle with You, Blonde tortures Nash, slashing his fucking face and cutting off his right ear with a straight razor like a crazy maniacal jackass. Blonde then retrieves a gasoline can from his car and doses Marvin Nash with gasoline. But before he can ignite it and set Marvin Nash ablaze, Orange suddenly wakes up and shoots Blonde to death, afterwards assuring Marvin that he is an undercover police officer, and the police will arrive shortly. Earlier, Orange fabricates an elaborate tale of drug delivery to gain acceptance into the gang. Shortly thereafter, White befriends Orange. Back in the present, Eddie, Pink, and White return to the warehouse where Orange tries to convince them that Blonde planned to kill them all and steal the diamonds for himself. And after this fucked up incident backfired, Eddie properly aims at White, creating a Mexican standoff. All three fire, both Joe and Eddie are killed, and White and Orange are hit. Pink, the only uninjured person, takes the diamonds and flees, as White cradles the dying Orange in his arms. Orange confesses that he is an undercover officer, and after that, Pink is heard attempting to escape as the police storm to the warehouse and order White to drop his gun. White shoots Orange and collapses as the gunfire erupts. Alright, on to the next film. One of my most favorite films of the 90s. Pulp fucking Fiction. Pulp Fiction's narrative is told out of chronological order, and follows three main interrelated stories that each have a different protagonist. Vincent Vega, a hitman, Butch Coolidge, a prizefighter, and Jules Winfield, Vincent's business partner. Yeah, you can see those sequences. Yeah. The hitmen Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega arrived at an apartment to retrieve a briefcase for their boss, gangster Marcellus Wallace, from a business partner, Brett. After Vincent checks the contents of the briefcase, Jules shoots one of Brett's associates, and then killed Brett for trying to double-cross Marcellus along with Vincent. They take the briefcase and deliver it to Marcellus. The next day, right after Jules got retired, Vincent purchased heroin from his drug dealer Lance. He shoots up and drives to meet Marcellus's wife Mia, having to agree to escort her while Marcellus is out of town. They eat at Jackrabbit Slim's, a 1950s themed restaurant, and participate in a twist contest. Alright, the next one is Butch bets the bribe money on himself and double crosses Marcellus, winning the bout but accidentally killing his opponent as well. Knowing that Marcellus will send hitmen after him, he prepares to flee with his girlfriend Fabienne, but discovers she has forgotten a pack of gold watch passed down through his family. When Marcellus spots Butch at stopped at a traffic light, Butch ran over him, leaving both of them injured and dazed. Once Marcellus regains consciousness, he draws a gun and shoots at Butch, chasing him into a pawn shop. And later on, Butch was about to get the hell out of here, but instead he had to save Marcellus Wallace and stop Maynard and Zed. So Butch picks up Fabian and Zed's chopper and they ride away. Earlier, after Vincent and Jules have killed Brett in his apartment, another man bursts out of the bathroom and fires at them, but every shot misses. After briefly checking themselves for wounds, Jules and Vincent shoot him dead. So yeah, Marvin is now with Jules and Vincent, but the interrogation has failed since Jules accidentally shot Marvin in the face.
That was Vincent, you stupid motherfucker!
So now they have to go to Jimmy's house and then to contact the wolf Yeah, Winston Wolfe. So who directs Jules and Vincent to clean the car, hide the body in the trunk, and dispose of their bloody clothes and take the car to a junkyard? Now the conclusion for this film. At a diner, Jules tells Vincent that he plans to retire from his life of crime, convinced that their miraculous survival at the apartment was a sign of divine intervention. Alright. Ringo, aka Pumpkin, and Yolanda, aka Honey Bunny, started a robbery at the diner. But now, Jules overpowers Pumpkin and holds him at gunpoint. Honey Bunny becomes hysterical and points her gun on him. Vincent returns with his gun aimed at her, but Jules diffuses the situation. He recites the biblical passage, expresses ambience about his life of crime, and allows the robbers to take his cash and leave. Jules and Vincent leave the diner with the briefcase in hand. Yeah, that's really a good idea. Alright, on to the last one. Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown, a flight attendant, smuggles money from Mexico into the United States of Ordell Robbie, a gun runner in Los Angeles. Acting on information, Beaumont gave them ATF agent Ray Nicolette and LAPD detective Mark Dargis intercept Jackie with Ordell's cash bag and a bag of cocaine, which she is unaware was intended for Melanie Ralston. She is sent to jail, which alerts Ordell. Having been paid by Ordell, Cherry bails out Jackie. Ordell arrives at Jackie's apartment shortly thereafter to kill her, and after she pulls a gun on him. It is revealed that she stole it from Cherry's glove box. She negotiates a deal with Ordell, whereby she pretends to help the authorities while smuggling in $550K of his money. Okay, so unaware of the plan to smuggle in $550K, Ray and Mark devise a sting to catch Ordell during the transfer of $50K. Unbeknownst to all, Jackie plans to keep $550K for herself. She recruits Cherry, offering him a cut. During a test run, Jackie smuggles in $10K with Nicolette and Dargis aware, to swap with Sharonda at a shopping mall. After Jackie leaves, Cherry observes an unknown woman swaps bags with Sharonda. On the day of the transfer, Ordell discovers Simone has left town with the 10 grand and reluctantly recruits Melanie to perform the swap. Okay, so with Louis Gara taking her to the mall, Jackie enters a dressing room in a department to try on a suit. She has told Ordell that she will swap bags with Melanie. Under the rose of Nicolette, who thinks the exchange will occur in the food court. Instead of the bag she gives Melanie contains only $40K, and she leaves the rest in the dressing room for Cherry. Well, holy shit. While in the parking lot, Melanie taunts Louis about forgetting where they parked. He loses his temper and shoots her 2 times, confessing this to Robbie upon meeting them. Robbie becomes livid when discovering most of the money is missing and realizes Jackie is the culprit. Ordell has shot Louis twice and leaves the money with Robbie. Oh, holy shit. Okay, Ordell Robbie holds Cherry at gunpoint as they enter his office. Jackie yells out to Nicolette that Robbie has a gun. Holy fuck, he's got a gun! Ah, shit. Nicolette jumps out with Dargis and Winston as Cherry's backup and kills Ordell. The charges against Jackie Brown are dropped. She plans to trip to Madrid, but Max Cherry declines Jackie's invitation to join her. They kiss goodbye, and she leaves as he watches her drive away. Damn. So in conclusion, my fellow peeps, I brutally recommend Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown. These 3 films are such masterpieces of history, grand masterpieces of discovery, and it's very too great, too good to miss. So that comes at the end of the Salute House show, season 2. So Just wanted to thank y'all for sending me requests and subscribing, and for the support, even though I scrapped some of the requests out. And once again, thanks for helping me reach up to 500 subscribers. Until next season, this is Mason Velez signing off. Thanks for watching.